Why, hello, everybody. Court's in session. I know I forgot the gavel last time because I don't know why, to be honest with you. Well, happy Monday. Happy Monday. Want to say thanks to you all for being here. I am currently battling with a possible sighting of a prisoner that escaped by Spider-Manning up a wall. Woof. I cannot battle with that. But we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have some fun and see where this goes. Because I have to admit, I have no idea what we're gonna do tonight. I know we're fast forwarding to the juror questions for our current witness, and then we'll go from there. But yes, um, I had very, very quickly tuned into RA right before we went live, and so I was checking on that, and it looked like, you know what it looked like? It looked like I haven't been following this at all. That's what it that's what it looked like. All right, so let's see here. Let's Mary. Hi, Mary. Welcome in. Is the yes, I believe Brandi is going to be streaming that, and then Brandi is also going to be streaming uh the intro into Karen Reed. If you're subscribed and you also have your announcements on, you'll see a couple of things. One, we released Brandi, we released the first episode of Conspiracy in Canton. It is a new series on our podcast, but we've also released it per your request on YouTube as well. And so that first episode's around 56 minutes. And holy cow, Brandi did an amazing job. An absolutely amazing job. And I'm very excited for everybody to hear it. Virginia, you asked who was on the stand. Psychotherapist Alyce LaViolette, which is a very, very fancy, it's a very fancy name. Yeah, so that's happening. That's happening tonight and tomorrow. And I'm very excited for Brandi to do her intro. I was looking at some of the the charts that she had posted on Twitter. They're insane. They're insane as per usual. She really is. It's no doubt. No doubt she went from not knowing how to work Audacity, the audio editing software, to putting all of that together herself. And even her son was like, "I like it. Who did it for you?" So it's wild. I want to let you guys know I'm working on trivia stuff. I am still working on a sheet that'll allow you to see whether or not you are your stuff has been turned in. I would love to be able to just turn on the option that sends you a email receipt of that, but I'm not sure yet whether or not it needs to collect your email, because I don't want to do that. I promised you I wouldn't. I do too. And she's doing well. She was stressed about releasing this first episode podcast. So, if you have any contact with her on any social media, or you want to comment here on YouTube, or leave us a review on any podcast app, leave her some love. It's it's been awesome. So, you're never out. You're never out. Never out, because last Friday 15 points were up for grabs, and you never know how many points I'm going to make another one worth. So you're never out, and it's always fun. But you can still answer Friday's trivia up until Wednesday. So really, you've only missed one. So go back and check that out. That would be fun, wouldn't it? Because she scared the living daylights out of me. I watched that one clip that was posted everywhere. And yes, I was I don't know why I was so scared. Makes no sense, but here we are. And then let's see. Trying to think of what else is happening here. Um, it is, but if it was easy, everybody would say this is too easy. Can't win. Hello, Erica. How's everybody doing? How was your Monday? How was your weekend? How was your weekend? Let me know how it went. I know there's a lot going on. While you guys are typing how your weekend was, I want to let you know something that we're working on currently in terms of merch. But it's not just merch. It's not merch for the sake of merch. It's not merch for the sake of money. It's merch for the sake of raising awareness and raising donations to different causes. So we are currently working on Polly Prissy Pants and I are currently working on and Shireen, sorry. Shireen's doing a lot of the background research. Let me make sure I give everybody their due. Shireen's working on the background research, and then Polly's working on some of the designing. And I'm just trying to lasso it all together. But we're working on a series, a 13th Juror series, which will be, I think, magnets and stickers. We're still up in the air on that. However, um, we're thinking it's going to be that, and it's going to be ribbons, and they're going to be different color ribbons for different things that we encounter here on 13th Juror. The first one that we're going to release is stroke awareness, and once that one goes live, I'll definitely let you know. And that is going to be a chance for you all to directly impact. I'll talk more about her story on the episode where we release the merch and the merch goes up. But one of our jurors, her husband recently went through a really, really scary health situation, and obviously stroke. And so, what I'd like to do is um, raise some funds to help out. They didn't really ask for this. I ran it by them to make sure it was okay. But I want us to be uh, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. I just want to do some good. I want this channel to be able to do some good, and we do good, but I want to be able to do something physically monetary where we can donate. Um, So these different ribbons will be coming out, and we'll announce them every single time. And each ribbon will those proceeds, 100% of those proceeds will go to either an individual struggling, or it will go to an organization. I can tell you for sure is the stroke awareness is the first one, and then I'll be doing one for suicide awareness and prevention, and then I will also be doing another one for and by me I mean Shireen, Polly, and I will be doing another one for Eric Carter Landine. If you saw his interview, he has an organization that I want to raise money for as well, and so there are plenty of opportunities in order to help out. What if we did a poll of what item people would more likely buy? Yeah, sure, I'd love to do that. Um, Polly, will you send me a quick message with like maybe the top 4 or 5 things you think would be a good option, and then we'll put that out as a poll. That sounds like a good idea. Um, there it is right there. She did it as I was saying it. See, this is why we all work together so well. All right, let me do that right now. Let's put this poll in. Nope, that's definitely a Q&A. Can you tell I don't log on to Brandy's side of things very often? Let's see here. Um, I can only do 4. What the hand grenade? Let's do I'm gonna pull shirt and put button. All right. Start poll. Ba-ba-da, there it is. All right. So feel free to drop your answers in there. Um, I'll leave it up for a while so people have time to get in. Some of you answered my question about what you did this weekend. Mhm. Ooh, that sounds fun. I've never been to either of those places. I would love to go to San Francisco for sure. Slept. I think that sounds good. Searching for a man on other websites. Watch which ones you go to. Oh, jeez. Hey, Jody. Let's see. What else? Weekend was 10 days. Woof. Well, welcome back. I forget to do my job every day. Every day. Well, thank you, Mary. I appreciate that. We are glad to have you here, as Captain said. I love our mods because they basically say what I'm thinking. 98.99999% of the time. Hi, Sheena. Hello. I'm only good because you guys allow me to be. If you can believe it, Brandi, hi. Hello. Hello. If you want to join, feel free. I know you've been working all day long. You guys have no idea. She's been working so hard on this first episode and just the case in general. Oh, like I said, leave her some love. Let's see. Football. I feel like you all watch more football than I ever will. Yes, we did miss you. We always miss you. Your work husband misses you. Oh, boy. All right. Well, while we're sitting here waiting, how about we see the top 5? I think that sounds like a good idea. Ricky got the first seat. Patches got the rocking chair. That panda's so happy. Emily, congratulations. You've got your very comfortable looking. I made myself laugh with this video. That just looks like fun. Congrats to the top 5, or the first 5. Congrats to the first 5 here in chat. Thank you so much for tuning in and being here early. I really appreciate that a lot. I know Brandi does as well. Let me do one other thing while we're at it. Let's see here. Make sure that I'm talking out my butt, but you know what I mean. Here, how about this? Let's do this. If you haven't listened to the trailer yet for Conspiracy,
she stated that she dropped.
Let's do that real fast, shall we? This was all made by Brandi, so you can be primed and ready to go for when we're done, and you can hop into the very first episode.
But we begin with a developing story. Boston police officer John O'Keefe was found face up in the snow on Saturday morning
outside a home currently occupied by people known to O'Keefe.
Officer Saraf observed the victim to be cold to the touch, no signs of breath.
He was transported to the Good Samaritan Medical Center where he was pronounced dead.
State prosecutors accused Karen Reed, who was O'Keefe's girlfriend, of backing into him and leaving him to die in the snow.
Reed and the victim had been out drinking at a couple of bars in town the night before when they were later invited back to a home on Fairview Road.
She stated that she dropped the victim off and left.
Reed's attorney says she tried to call O'Keefe and had no idea anything had happened to him.
Reed pleaded not guilty to manslaughter, motor vehicle homicide, and leaving the scene of a crash causing death.
An investigation into the death of a Boston police officer in Canton has taken a turn. Lawyers for the woman under arrest not only say their client is innocent, they're alleging a cover-up.
Prosecutors point to pieces of a broken taillight as evidence, but her lawyers argue the police report was altered.
First got to that scene at 6 a.m. and did not find a single piece of taillight. And then 12 hours later, boom, they found taillight everywhere.
People in this town are scared of the people who are supposed to protect and serve.
I don't think there's any kind of conspiracy or anything like that.
They say there were a lot of people at the home that night, and one of them Googled how long to die in the cold hours before Reed would have known O'Keefe was missing.
This is not a Hollywood star. This is an accused murderer getting a standing ovation as she enters the courtroom. What is going on out there?
Tell me that Brandi did not hit that one out of the park. Tell me that doesn't look like a high quality trailer from a large podcast company network that has hundreds of thousands of dollars in budget. Tell me that. Fight me. Fight me. I just laughed so hard it went up my nose. Oops. Right? Eat your karma. I got to talk to you. Would you be interested in making some custom intro outro music? With maybe some brass. I would love to use our Juror's music for like intro outro. And if it could sound a little bit jazzy or big bandy or funk, that would be awesome. I don't want to like put you on the spot. First episode is out. Don't leave me. I'm already fighting the possible sighting of said criminal. So don't leave me yet. Is that in Indeed, as in just DM me on Discord? Or send me an email. I liked what you had shared with me. I would love to do that. My very first podcast ever, I featured, I got lucky enough to get the rights, not the rights, but the permission from Patent Pending to do their song as our intro and outro, which was Dance Till We Die. And it was, my brain exploded because it was the very first pod I ever did. Lady in Gray, I totally understand. Absolutely. Wednesday night. And don't forget, that's when we're reviewing trivia and the answers, and we'll give the updated scoreboard. Happy Patriot Day. It is Patriot Day today. We definitely I posted a good chunk of I posted I hate being just a digital warrior, but it's what I've got right now that I can do. So yeah, happy Patriot Day. Happy. I don't. I hope it was a day in which you could remember. I had posted something today on Twitter because I refuse to call it X. I won't do it. I refuse. But I wrote, I like this quote. Memory is a beautiful way of holding on to things that you have always loved and remembering the things that you never want to lose. Today is the day to remember all those who died in the attack on September 11th, 2001, and keep them alive in our memories. And I think that that's really, really, really important. It's just one of those. Yes, you've got plenty of time. You got plenty of time. No deadline, sir, unless you have ADHD like I do, and I'll give you a deadline, but you've got no deadline. Take your time. Art, it cannot be timed. Anyways, it's one of those events where, one of those moments in history where you remember exactly where you were. I think the generation before me was JFK. Yep. A little bit, kind of. Possibly even Desert Storm. It doesn't matter. There are events for every single generation. This generation now has COVID. COVID as that memory. Where were you when the world shut down? And up until that point, the kids, the folks who were in their early 20s or teens, they never grew up in a time before 9/11, or they remember a time before 9/11 in which it was very different. A lot happened, for better or worse. I think it's you go back to that day and the couple of weeks after that day, and you think about just how close, how supportive we were of each other. Not even if you just like patriotic's one thing, let's set that aside, but just how supportive we were of one another up until the point we got hateful towards a certain group of people. But that was a combination of policy and just deep-seated and deep-rooted racism. But there was this feeling of companionship, camaraderie, etc. And I would love for that to continue. I'd like to restart that. It's not that it hasn't stopped. It's just, boy, it's gotten to the bottom of the newspaper page. You really don't think about it very much anymore, or how it is. But that's enough of that. Enough of that. Yeah, yes, I agree. I really, truly wish that we could have the unity without the hurt. Why the hell do we need to have a disaster in order to find unification? I will never understand that. Will never understand that. Not once. It just ridiculous. And of course now we're again, politics to the side. I don't care what side you're on. We are more divided than we have been in quite some time. And I would love for us to just find some common ground and stop closing our ears to the other person, unless it's absolutely hateful and negative, which is a whole nother ball game. But I don't know. Opening your ears and listening. If anything, listening to the other side, provided it is not extreme hate, allows you to strengthen your own opinions and find counter arguments, even internally. So, there is always there is a benefit to listening to the other side, even if you don't agree with it. And I think I think media has proven this. We just need to shut up and listen. We need to shut up and listen. And I don't know if enough people are willing to do that. I sure hope so. And oh boy. Well, now that I brought us down, I mean, but that's my opinion, and obviously my opinion isn't necessarily correct, but it's definitely something that I do believe. If Papa Brews Crime, who is a traditional opposite side of me, minus the hate and bigotry and more of the understanding, and then me, who is opposite, can come together and talk to each other and have spirited conversation, listening to one another and taking each other's points without fighting. I don't understand. We just have too many people that they win when controversy is king. And we let them win. All right, that was a soapbox. Enough of that. Just kind of glimpse of my own shirt. I got this shirt at the punk rock concert. And this organization tours with Bowling for Soup a lot and a lot of other punk rock bands. But this shirt, I love this shirt. The organization's called Punk Rock Saves Lives. And do me a favor and go take a look for them. They're a wonderful group. I spent about 5 minutes, probably 5 minutes too long talking to them because Jamie was there like, "God, what are you doing? It's boring. I want a sticker." Yes, I thank you. I love this shirt is awesome. And the bands that tour with bowling, so Bowling for Soup Mest and Authority Zero, they let them, you can't really see it, but on each dog's collar is the logo of the band. The three bands that are touring. I absolutely love it. It's so cool. JT, I agree. That's why I love this group of people here and in Recovery Addicts chat. We can disagree and yet get along. Yeah. You all are YouTubers. You have done the live stream stuff. You have done the commenting. You've seen the chats. You have seen the toxicity that is on YouTube. It could literally be a live stream of puppies and people will find a way to insult one another. And it's ridiculous. So when I say that it is extremely rare, not just to find a supportive group on YouTube, but a supportive group in the genre of true crime, I'm not kidding. We see day to day people being attacked for no reason whatsoever. And things just get more and more toxic. It's really embarrassing. It's amazing how few people can act like adults. And it's like Bowling for Soup said, high school never ends. All right. So let's hop into the trial. We're moving into the jury questions. I am fascinated to see, out of all of what we did watch and what we didn't watch, what they came up with. And Virginia, I will say I agree with you. I am primarily on there to promote podcast and just little silly quips, but also to battle the darkness with terrible dad jokes. But some folks in the past couple of months doing this show, some folks like mods or whoever have said, should I get a Twitter? And I'm like, don't wade into that toxic swamp. The Toxic Avenger wasn't that cool. It's not worth it. But yes, you guys are awesome. All right. So, let's go ahead and hop into this trial. You're not that late.
Welcome to the party, pal.
But welcome to the party, pal. All right. Let's do this. Let's figure out what the jury has to ask.
Ms. LaViolette, the jurors have some questions for you.
All right.
I'm going to ask them in the order they were submitted by the jury. Okay. You stated that you read journal entries done during the time Jodi was with Travis. Did you read entries from any earlier time frames?
No, I didn't. I read very limited information prior to the journals I read during the time frame they were together. So that would be from 2006 through 2008.
If you had read entries from the earlier time frame, do you feel it may have given you a better picture of Jodi?
I read a lot of information from her family and her prior boyfriends. So I read things other than her journal prior to that. So I felt like I had a pretty good picture of Jodi as viewed by other people.
Did you read or view any interviews involving Travis's friends and family?
I saw the 7 hours of unedited footage from 48 Hours Mystery. But other than that, I think I read one email from his sister directed to him. But no, I didn't.
Wow.
Other than that.
What did you learn about Travis?
What did I learn about Travis? I learned from reading his what he wrote in his book and some of his blog that he was a motivational speaker, that he was quite good at it, that he was a man who knew his scriptures, that he was a man who came from an incredibly abusive background in childhood, that his survival as a child was tough, that he was, according to him, made fun of because he was unable to bathe sometimes, that he and his siblings were subjected to verbal, emotional, physical abuse and neglect. I learned that he was attractive to women and that he was able to, appeal to numbers of women. I don't know much about his friendships because I didn't really hear him talk about his friendships. I know that he had friendships with the Hughes, both the Hughes, and that was a 5-year friendship, and that during that time they were concerned about the way he treated women. And I learned about his anger from his own words and also from the way he talked to Miss Arias, to Jodi. I learned something about the way he talked to women in general in private. So I'm not sure if that fully answers it or not.
Do you think that Jodi could have lied to you to help her case?
When I first met Jodi, she was very
Better say yes.
protective of Mr. Alexander. And
You get nothing. You lose.
she
Good
had a
day,
very hard
sir.
time looking at herself as a battered woman, saw herself as, it takes two to tango kind of thing. And so I was, I've been involved in other cases where people sort of try to convince me about who they are and what's happened to them. And I never found that to be true with Jodi. And then in reading from men who had lived with her and spent a great deal of time with her, she was never described in any way as lying. I know that, she lied in high school, but I don't actually, or kept things from her parents, I should say. I don't know that she lied directly, but kept things from her parents, and I find that very typical of teenagers. So I didn't find that unusual.
Just know I have a whole bag
frankly,
with your name
I
on
don't
it.
find it unusual for people to lie when they do things that are abhorrent in their own lives. The Archbishop of New York was just caught lying, and the Lance Armstrong lied over many years, and Bill Clinton lied. And people lie when they are afraid, and they are afraid of the repercussions to their own lives, to their careers, to their image. And probably a lot of us have lied about something far less serious.
Amos, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. Our mods, man, they support with their time, their energy, their sense of humor. They keep me sane. Sandra Oliver, Janice, Michelle Johnson, Sherry Smith, Princess Lukey, welcome back to the jury. Welcome back to the cult, y'all. Grab your Kool-Aid with a C and an E because of copyright infringement. And grab your juror chair by hitting !C.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Serious than killing someone. So.
All right, Ms. LaViolette, could Jodi have exaggerated to help her case?
She could have exaggerated. I actually did not find that she was a person who did exaggerate. She tended to minimize more than exaggerate, and it took a while before I got information from her, even about the incidents. She would tend to describe them as less than, and
so glad we did
as,
great,
not happening all the time. So I found that more to be true with Jodi.
Is it possible friends and family may have embellished in an effort to help her?
I guess, except that friends and family didn't seem to go overboard. And a lot of what I read were Mr. Alexander's words directed at her, the way he talked to her, the kind of disrespect that was there, the kind of, when I looked at the escalation process, I didn't find that
Cindy, congratulations, 4 months.
Her friends and family said,
I feel home with
it
you
seemed
guys
pretty
too.
even-handed. I mean, they didn't just say, gee, she's this wonderful person. They made statements about her in other ways as well. So it wasn't just trying to paint her with a white brush.
What did you discover about Travis when looking at emails, texts, and instant messages to other women?
Mr. Alexander tended to push sexual limits. He would start to talk to somebody and he would start making sexual kind of
limits based
innuendos
on
to
whose
people
line?
and see where that would go. And then when it opened the door, he also, with some women, was trying to push PPL on them if they joined PPL, he got
I love that
credits
you guys
in that
choose your
direction.
announcement here. Thank you.
I learned that he was very good with women. He sort of read them and read the women he was with, but he also irritated women. And what I mean by that is there were some women he pushed fast on, faster than they wanted, and he would back off. So he had a sense about, for a lot of these women, I think about playing them, how to play them. And I think he did that pretty effectively. And I think oftentimes, or with some of the women who shared his
Virginia, thank
faith,
you.
because he was so well
Nursery
versed,
dog mom,
or
welcome.
apparently so well versed in his faith and the scriptures and whatever, he was able to sort of insinuate his way into their confidence with that also, and he was able to, on paper, empathize with them. One of the women was someone who said that her husband was, not somebody who let her have friends or let her be around other men, and he would tell her to go to the bishop and that wasn't right, and he shouldn't treat her that way. And there was another woman who said that she was with her ex-husband was emotionally and verbally abusive to her and addicted to pornography, and he was empathetic and would be empathetic with those women. So there was a real dynamic about, getting, sort of insinuating himself into those relationships. Now, I only have emails in particular and written information from about somewhere around December of 07 to June of 08. So I don't have a lot of information prior to that.
Is it common for women in abusive relationships to snap and commit violent acts against long-standing perpetrators?
Actually, usually what we find is that women, when they snap in a lethal way, that it's been a self-defense kind of situation.
Sustained.
May I ask that her comment be stricken?
Yes, the comment is stricken. You may approach. With regard to the last question, can you answer that question yes or no without elaborating? And again, that question is whether it is common for women in abusive relationships to snap and commit violent acts against long-standing perpetrators.
It's not easy to answer in a yes or no, Your Honor.
We have heard multiple times from the defense the terms survivor and victim used together. Is it possible for the survivor to be the perpetrator?
Is that a yes or no?
Yes.
It is a yes or no. Do you need to elaborate?
Yes.
Yes.
You may.
or is it no?
It's very possible for somebody to lash back. In fact, there's a term for it. Michael Johnson uses. It's called violent resistance. So that when someone has been a victim of domestic violence, they sometimes hit back. And that would be more the usual form that I would see, that there might be somebody yelling back, there might be somebody hitting back, there might be somebody, doing something on that order. Most of the time, what I see in terms of violent resistance might be an explosion that would be more like hitting or yelling, that sort of thing. Screaming at somebody. So in that way, it could be physical and it could be violent because that person could hit that other person back. I have rarely, in my experience, I haven't seen it with much with a weapon.
We have seen and heard that Jodi has kicked her mother, slapped her mother, has been angry with her mother, and even called her sister stupid. Would this characterize Jodi as an abuser?
No.
I believe that happened when Jodi was a teenager. And what I would characterize that as a very angry teenager. I certainly wouldn't characterize that. And calling your sister stupid, that's not uncommon. Kicking your mother, hitting your mother, I don't approve of that. I don't think that's a great thing to do. I think teenagers do a lot of things that, unfortunately, I don't think are great things to do. And I know she has anger with her mother, and I know that's been part of their history. But I haven't seen her, at least as an adult, I haven't seen any evidence that there's been physical violence with her mother.
Why would a perpetrator be abusive in one relationship but not another?
Partially because it depends on the level of intimacy that somebody has. What I've seen, and specifically with Mr. Alexander, is that most of his relationships weren't long-term. And so it usually takes a period of time before you see physical violence and real emotional violence happen. There's a progression with that. And so you wouldn't see that happening right away. And even in what you would call not a long-term relationship, for instance, with Lisa Andrews, which was more intimate, I think next to Miss Arias, the relationship with Miss Andrews was the most intimate. And she talks about feeling disrespected in that relationship, which was fairly short, and they broke up 3 times. The other relationships, and there were some where women said that they didn't like how he talked or whatever, even in those relationships, they were for the most part via some kind of
my problem.
The internet or IMs or that sort of thing.
Very
it's really
intelligent.
Not very difficult.
This is ridiculous.
To be non-aggressive with somebody you're not spending much time with. So where we tend to see that aggression really happen is when people have more time together, they have more that there is to argue about or to have conflict about, and then it's how they handle that conflict after that. So for most of the folks that I've worked with, they may have a relationship that's less aggressive than another one, but the more intimate, and for some of the fellows I talk to, it's the person that they're most connected to that they wind up being the most abusive to.
Have you ever seen situations where victims kill their partners because they see no other way out?
I've worked on one case where that was true. I've worked with lots of battered women, and there have been.
Objection, lack of foundation, one case.
Sustained.
Lack of foundation, one case.
Well, judge me in person.
You may approach. Is it conceivable that a woman could kill her partner just to get away from the abuse?
Is it conceivable?
Is it conceivable?
I would say that it is conceivable, but rare.
Have you seen relationships in which abuse has escalated on both sides, where the individuals are both victim and perpetrator?
Generally speaking, with domestic violence, that does not stay at that level. And the latest research that's come out in heterosexual relationships says that when men and women are both being violent with each other, that over time the male partner tends to get more violent than the female. But I have seen situations where both people were violent with each other. Yes, I have.
Is it possible that Travis and Jodi were in this type of relationship?
It doesn't appear that way to me because I don't see any evidence of it, even in the verbal confrontations. You don't see Jodi Arias escalating the situation. You see her trying to calm the situation. So I don't have any evidence that that's true. I don't have any evidence that there's been physical intimidation. And the other part is when I look at domestic violence, part of what I look at is the element of fear in that relationship. And so I don't see as much the fear or the behaviors to try to adjust to the other person. Mr. Alexander tends to be the one that is escalating and getting really aggressive. And Ms. Arias tends to be the one that's sort of trying to slow the process down. So I don't have evidence of that. And in her prior...
Overruled. You may complete your answer.
In her prior two relationships, there's no evidence whatsoever in these long-term relationships that she has been violent or aggressive or jealous. Both partners say that that is not part of her history.
If Jodi slapped and kicked her mother in the past, could she be seen as a perpetrator?
She could definitely be seen as someone who kicked and hit her mother in the past. I would want to know, once again, when I look at perpetrators, I'm looking at power differences, and what I'm talking about in this relationship is the relationship between two peers, between people who are in an intimate relationship.
Sustained. Because of possible consequences, do you feel it is possible that Jodi could be exaggerating abuse events?
I think anything's possible. When I look at the kind of escalation that I've seen with Mr. Alexander, and when I listen to what his friends, the Hughes, have said, it is very difficult for me to believe that.
Could Jodi and Travis, for example, fit somewhere around the high conflict and abuse columns in your matrix, but then by exaggerating events, make it appear that they as a couple lean more toward battering and terrorism?
Actually not, and I'll tell you why. It's because, and if you look at the emails, it's the kind of names and put downs and the length of time that they go on. It's that kind of thing. You don't fit into high conflict. High conflict suggests a balance of power, and they might say things to each other, and they might not be respectful. But this goes way beyond that when you look at what's said in these instant messages and texts. It's absolutely, to me, abhorrent and would be considered absolutely psychological verbal abuse in a battering kind of range and not in an abusive kind of range. It goes past that.
How does it affect your assessment when you do not have the whole story from both individuals?
Oftentimes, and particularly when you're working on a murder case, you don't have the story. And by the way, for the most part, an expert...
It affects it.
She's still answering the question.
Overruled. You may continue.
For the most part, an expert witness doesn't have access to the other side of the equation. But in a homicide, you definitely don't. So what you try to gather is all the information that you can and all that's provided for you and all that you think you need to make an assessment. So what I do is I try to get as much from the other person who's not present as I can. And I have a big box of materials at home that I have been reading through and have read through over the last year and a half. So my goal, whether it's a child custody case, whether it's, a family law or a criminal case, is to get as much information as I can from both sides, because I don't want to be biased. I don't want to be just seeing one person's point of view. And so I have tried to get information to see both points of view as well.
In your opinion, is it possible that Jodi could have also been a perpetrator in her relationship with Travis?
I don't see any evidence of that.
Bullshit.
I just don't see any evidence of it. In the materials that I have access to, there is no evidence of that.
Is it possible Jodi could be guilty of psychological abuse toward Travis, given that we are not privy to the majority of their conversations?
My bad.
As I said, I think anything's possible. I just don't have any evidence of it. And part of what I looked at is her prior two relationships, because when you look at longer term relationships and the one she had with Mr. Alexander, they should be able to give you information about that kind of thing happening. And neither Mr. Brewer, who was with her for 4 years, nor Mr. McCartney, who was with her for 2, indicated in any way that she was abusive or jealous or controlling or manipulative. And in fact, remained friends with her after they broke up, which is usually a good sign that they had some positive feelings for her.
Could any of Travis's actions be considered defensive rather than abusive?
Any of us can get angry, any of us can get upset, any of us can get defensive. When I look at the kind of tirades, that is beyond defensive. That is beyond defensive. That is tearing somebody's character apart, and that is not a defensive way of handling things. And it goes on way too long for it to be just a defensive way of handling things. I mean, there are some emails where he's just angry, but he tends to take it to a little bit of an extreme, even at lower levels. And then when he escalates, it's pretty darn extreme.
Too much Kool-Aid.
Can two children facing identical abuse situations end up handling those situations very differently as they become adults? Can you explain how and why?
Sure. When you grow up in the family that you grow up in, it's not just what's dealt to you, it's the way that you see what's dealt to you. And anybody who has children or grows up with siblings knows that all of your siblings can see things differently. So for instance, if you have an accessible adult that you can really count on, like you have a friend's parent or an aunt or an uncle or a grandparent that is there for you on a regular basis, that can change. Your personality, the way you take things in, if you blame yourself or if you blame the parent, or if you're able to see clear of that situation. If there's a community that's set up where you have, maybe you're in a scouting troop, or maybe you go to a church, or maybe you are part of a softball team or baseball team, somewhere where you get positive things, that can have an impact. But generally, most kids, their brain development is exponential from 0 to 6. So most kids learn a lot about who they are between 0 and 6. Not that we don't keep learning, but your disposition, how you come out, your personality affects how you take things in. So there's a lot of things that can make a difference. The problem is when you learn a lot of negative things in your family of origin, if you're neglected, if you're without food, if your parents are violent with each other, that generally speaking, you're going to need some intervention to just help you in intimate relationships, because you don't learn what you don't see and you don't have exposure to. You know, even if you're a strong personality.
You talked about great differences in the stories of victims versus perpetrators. Does it concern you at all that you can't get a full and complete story from Travis?
Yes, I wish I could get a complete story from Travis. And I can't. I can only take what I got from his friends and from women that he was involved with and from his own writing about his childhood, his own writing in his journals. I don't think I got a complete story. I got as complete a story as I could get, and I tried to get as complete a story as I could get.
If a person starts out a relationship with low self-esteem and does things he or she does not necessarily like or want to do, is their partner considered abusive if those dislikes are never verbalized or shared?
If a person doesn't verbalize, of course, nobody's a mind reader. You can't expect people to know what you don't tell them. But I think the difference is if you are not abusive, you still don't act abusively. And it wouldn't take much to know that being called a
Scope of the question talks about the verbal.
Sustained. We're going to move on to the next question. How quickly can abuse escalate from the first time two people meet?
It's very different. Usually, what I hear is that there's a period of time where that's not happening because most people don't get in relationships if they think somebody's going to be abusive with them. But it varies. I mean, everybody's different, and so you can see different patterns. But once you begin to see an escalation, there tends to be an ongoing escalation, and it can be like this. It doesn't have to be a straight line up at all, but usually over time, what you begin to see is an escalating pattern.
Prior to Lisa Andrews and Jodi Arias, do you know who Travis Alexander's girlfriend was?
A woman by the name of Deanna.
Can you describe some details of that relationship to the best of your knowledge?
I believe that they were together on and off for 7 years. She went on a mission, so she was gone for 2 years. According to Miss Arias, he didn't really want her to go. He wanted her to stay, and she went away, and they wrote letters to each other during that time. He seemed to still really care about her. They didn't, I know they continued to have a relationship of some sort. I know that he said that he considered that he took the best 7 years of her life and that it was going to be hard for her to find a partner that she deserved. And I don't really know what that meant. I know she loaned him money for a business that he started and that she asked for the money back. I don't know if she got it back, but they still seem to have a friendly relationship. But that's about all I know there.
A lot of your testimony has been based on what Jodi has told you. It has been proven that Jodi has lied multiple times since killing Travis. How are you able to know everything she is saying is truthful?
I'm not basing a lot of what I know on.
About lying.
It is responsive to the question, Judge.
Let me read the question. How are you able to know everything she is saying is truthful? How are you able to know everything she is saying is truthful?
Wasn't the first part that I based it on what she said, and I was trying to address that I didn't just base it on what she said.
All right, you may continue.
Okay, I based it on.
Judge, the other question is, how can she, if she based it?
She's basing it on the question, the entire question that was asked.
All right, overruled, you may answer.
Okay, I didn't just base it on what Jodi told me. I based it on
'cause it's not
everything
just
that I
me.
read.
I'm trying to
on
brag.
everything that, all of the materials I've read from numerous sources. But how do I know everything she told me was true? I don't. I don't know everything she told me was true. I know that I have enough backup with the information that I got that was collateral to what Ms. Arias said to believe that she is telling me the truth about most things. And once again, that she lied after the killing of Mr. Alexander does not make her a liar. It makes her a frightened human being, like most human beings who have done something that is abhorrent to them.
He's sitting there watching her
And
handiwork.
they have a hard time facing. So I don't think that makes her a liar. I don't get that her character prior to this event, I don't get information that says Jodi Arias is a liar from anybody.
Did you ever see any proof that Travis physically abused Jodi?
The only thing I saw was a broken finger.
Overruled.
Broken finger.
That's what I saw, that she had a broken finger.
Isn't it possible that Jodi did not write some of those incidents in her journal because they never happened?
It's possible.
I'll get arrested and then
although
escape.
Mr. Alexander didn't write
Nice
in
covering.
his journal about things that he said happened either.
Sustained. According to the conflict scale, would Jodi be put in the aggressive group if she slapped and kicked her mother?
The conflict tactic scale is actually about adult relationships, so it's never been
We're going to eliminate
standardized or
issues of
the
children.
questions were not asked to teenagers. So I can't tell you because it's an adult scale. It's looking at people in adult relationships, and that's what conflict tactic scale is about.
Have any of your patients ever killed their partner?
Yes.
Are you able to confirm whether or not Jodi abused Travis? Would you say it was a possibility?
I just don't have any evidence of it. There's nothing I look at in her history with the other men in her life or in any of the exchanges between the two of them that would indicate to me that, that she had. I mean, there's possibilities of everything, but I don't see evidence that supports that.
Would you classify Mr. Alexander and Miss Arias' relationship as a love-hate relationship?
I would classify it as an abusive relationship.
How does a love-hate
Even the
relationship
judge needed a second
impact
to
the
be like,
parties
really?
over time?
Love-hate relationships, I actually, if you were looking at my continuum, I'd see them as more high conflict. They're people that stay together, they're disrespectful to each other, they don't have a way, they don't solve problems well. So over time, they erode the friendship that they have with each other. Sometimes they come into counseling, 15 years down the road and they really don't like each other and they want you to perform a miracle with them. But they've stopped caring about each other. They've stopped seeing each other as friends. They see each other as enemies. But there is basically a balance of power in that relationship, and it tends to go back and forth between both people. So that's how I see that as different than an abusive relationship.
The violence level of Jodi's response to neutralize what she perceived as a threat was extreme and way beyond neutralizing the threat. In your experience, is this response consistent with what a victim of abuse would do?
What just happened? And why did I throw Milk Duds in my mouth before it happened? I swear to God, we were just at 24 away. This is a terrible idea. This is a terrible. I hope you're laughing at me. Woo! Hold on, I'm gonna send. I just sent Brandi a text. Apparently we did. I hit refresh and all of a sudden it was 9,017. I don't know. Brandy's typing. Thank you. Yeah. No kidding. Wow.
I'm gonna bite my pillow. Is what I'm gonna do.
Well, isn't that special?
Woohoo! Well, another goal bites the dust.
Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust.
Insane. Brandi said, "That's cool." On the inside, though, she's just like exploding in rainbows and unicorns like I am. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm projecting onto Brandi. But all right, yay! Woo! Was it the hat? Was it the hat? Because Annie, one of our mods, just called me a nerdy gangster, and I don't know how I feel about that, but I'll take it. I'll take it.
My experience with females, in particular females who are victims, is that when they are afraid for their lives, they would not know when to stop. They would not know when it was enough. And actually, if you look at people who are trained in combat, like the...
Overruled, you may continue.
When you look at people who are trained in combat, like police officers or military, oftentimes when they're trained for combat and non-combat situations. And when they get in combat situations, they often go over the top, which is like excessive force or whatever. I think what's difficult is for anybody to know when to stop, when they'd be safe. And I actually, I think about that in movies. When you look at movies and you...
Sustained. Other than Jodi's word, what evidence do you have that Jodi ever received Spider-Man underwear or the pink t-shirt from Travis?
The Spider-Man underwear was part of a conversation.
I like them all.
That they had in an IM when she was traveling, and she was having an instant message with Mr. Alexander, and she told him that she would bring the Spider-Man underwear, and they were talking about that. So that's the evidence I have with that.
Has Jodi continued to write in her journal after June 4, 2008?
I haven't seen her journals after June 4, 2008. So I don't know.
Can you please provide the time frame in which you evaluated Jodi?
Just Jodi? I'm not sure if you mean Jodi or the whole case.
It says just Jodi.
I spent about 44 hours in jail with Jodi.
That's a long time.
And time frame in terms of dates.
Oh, okay. The first visit was in October of 2011. And I spent 2 days that.
Real quick, you know how we just crossed the 9,000 threshold of subs? We've also now just crossed the 9,000 downloads of podcast. I couldn't make that up if I tried. Not if I tried. So that is awesome. In the last 7 days, we've crossed 1,000. In the last 30 days, we've hit almost 4,000, thanks to you all. So thank you. Thank you very much. Woo!
that visit. There was another visit, I think within 3 or 4, I can't tell you exactly, that I spent another 2 days. And then I came out early before my daughter's wedding and spent a part of a day with Jodi. So it was over, I believe, 4 different visits. There were 4 different visits or 5 different visits, and I'm not exactly sure. I don't have my calendar with me. And each visit was either the first time it was 8 hours and like 6 or 7 hours, and the next time was a couple of 6 or 7 hour days, I believe. There was one time that was like 3 or 4 hours. So it was spread out a little bit.
Regarding the argument in the car between Jodi and Travis in March of 2008, you stated that Travis slapped her across the face, quote unquote. Is that exactly what Jodi told you?
No, it isn't exactly what she told me. I think it was on the jaw, but I think about that as the face. So I said slapped across the face. What was most important to me is the slap.
Sustained. Please state how confident you are that Jodi did not lie to you.
Jodi did not lie to me about what?
Did not lie to you.
Like ever? I don't believe she lied to me about significant things. I don't have reason to believe she lied to me. I don't have evidence that supports she lied to me. Is it possible she lied to me about some things? It's possible. But when I'm looking at the issue of abuse.
It is not beyond the scope.
Overruled. You may continue.
What I came in to do was really to look at the issues of domestic violence. And when I look at the issues of domestic violence, and not this little detail or that little detail, but I'm looking at the issue of domestic violence, I found compelling evidence for domestic violence, or I would not be here.
Sustained. You described a vague connection between Mr. Alexander's childhood and his behavior. Can you describe this connection for us?
Yeah, I actually don't think it's vague at all. The most significant factor with people who are abusive in their adult relationships is they're growing up in abusive relationships. Now, a lot of people have grown up in abusive relationships, and it's kind of a matter of degree, but the worst kind of childhood abuse is usually associated with the most difficulty in having a successful intimate relationship and a non-abusive intimate relationship. And Mr. Alexander's childhood is incredibly abusive. There are situations where his father kicked the door down with him on the other side of it. He was thrown across the room. He talked about being beaten by his mother. He talked about not having food to eat. He talked about living in a camper shell. He talked about his mother being sleeping off a meth high for days and his father being gone. He talked about his father and his mother being abusive with each other. He talked about the neglect of finding a piece of moldy bread to eat, and he ate it, about being afraid to wait because the connection is that when you are submitted and exposed to that kind of violence, you learn about survival. And in fact, it's often called, by Bruce Perry, called chronic combat readiness, that a child who grows up in that kind of situation can see threat in things that other people don't see threat in, can be hypervigilant, can be in a survival mode. And part of that survival mode is the world as it affects me. So you have to look out for yourself in that kind of situation. So there's a direct link between what you're exposed to and how you handle it, especially if there is no intervention, nobody to help you learn to handle it any differently.
In the April 2008 incident, you stated Jodi did not fight back because she did not want to hurt Travis. Are you saying she would rather lay there and possibly die than fight back?
Unless somebody believes.
Can I say, I'm not saying that she's wrong on that. What I'm saying is to take the concept of somebody as a child who was abused and say, because he was abused, he's always ready, thereby he then abuses somebody else. So it just reduces, it takes the concept of abused children back like 30 years. Is that just me? Is it just me? Because I know a lot of people who didn't have great lives as young people who have thrived in spite of it. So, you know, I mean, maybe any one of the folks that are watching right now, statistically, which I don't math, possibly could have come from that. And you all are here. I mean, just because you're here doesn't mean you're good people. I think you're good people. But I mean, as far as I know, you know, you haven't continued that. I know a lot of people who have come from really rough backgrounds and young lives, and they've done everything they possibly can to end that, to end the generation to generation stuff. They've done everything they can. And for her, see, now I'm pissed at her. Before she made points, it just didn't connect to the case and was ridiculous. Now I'm just pissed. You cannot make a blanket statement. But now I'm speaking from somebody who, you know, I had a really positive childhood. I had a supportive childhood. I didn't come from, I didn't have that background. But I know a lot of people who have, and they've done a lot more than I ever will to make sure that that ends with them. Just
believes that they're going to be hurt, or there are a lot of people who don't fight back. Either they're afraid they're really.
Other people, she's asked specifically in this circumstance, no response.
Sustained. Are you saying that Jodi would rather lay there and possibly die rather than fight back?
I don't know what she was thinking. She said she didn't want to hurt him, and she knew she would have to hurt him.
Just because a person may appear to be controlling, does that automatically mean they are physically abusive?
No, it doesn't. You can have somebody who's controlling and never lays a hand on anybody, but they manipulate and psychologically control.
Sustained. Are you aware if any of Travis's ex-girlfriends besides Jodi have said Travis was physically abusive toward them?
There are no ex-girlfriends that I've read who say that Travis has been physically abusive to them.
Is it possible that the instant message between Jodi and Travis on May 10, 2008 regarding his temper was a running joke between the two of them?
It certainly didn't sound like it.
In the May 26, 2008 text messages and instant messages between Travis and Jodi, if Jodi was that upset with what Travis was saying to her, why didn't she stop talking to him right then?
Well, I don't know, except that
The Jackson Foundation, she doesn't know.
Well, she was going to explain what she did know.
You can follow up with that. Sustained. Other than Jodi, did you interview anyone else face to face?
no, I did not.
Are you aware that Jodi's grandparents' house was broken into on May 28, 2008, only 2 days after the fight they had through instant messages and text messages?
Yes, I'm aware that the grandparents' house was broken into.
We have heard of different females Travis talked to between December 2007 through May of 2008. Wasn't it a known fact between Jodi and Travis that he was trying to find someone he could marry?
It was a known fact that he was trying to find someone to marry. I just, the conversations,
He has not been by here. I have not
Can you finish your
assisted.
response?
Don't wish
the
that juju on me.
conversations would not lead you to believe that these were trying to woo somebody or court somebody to find out if they could marry them. They were very flirtatious from the beginning, sexual from the beginning.
You stated, one person has more power than the other person. Can that be because the other person gives it rather than because the one person commands it?
Yes, it can. What I find, though, is that if you're not in a...
Overruled.
Now one's
that-
doing it just to piss him off.
You don't have to be abusive because somebody gives you power. Because somebody is less able to take power than the other person, doesn't mean the other person has to be abusive. And frankly, if you're in a relationship that
Sustained. Have any of the women with whom Travis had a relationship, other than Jodi, stated that Travis abused them psychologically, verbally, or physically?
Lisa Andrews talked about him sort of putting her down, not respecting her values, saying that if she wanted to be a teacher, she'd probably be a good teacher, but it would suck if that's what
No,
she
I'm not
chose to
giving you
do
a
with her
wig.
life. So there were women, there was another woman who complained that he said nobody would ever,
Sustained. Who are you referring to?
Nicole, who said that
Foundation and relationship between the two.
Judge, it's not necessary for her to discuss her answer.
Overruled. You may continue.
who said that Mr. Alexander,
Overruled.
that Mr. Alexander told her that no one would ever want to date her because she was like her boyfriend, that she was like the man that she ended up being with. And what seems important to me here is that these are not long relationships.
Sustained. Amid all of the interviews with family and friends of either Travis or Jodi, did anyone mention either concern or suspicion of abuse regarding Travis or Jodi?
Matt McCartney mentioned that he believed that Jodi had confided in him and that he knew there was verbal abuse by talking to Jodi, and that he suspected that there was physical abuse, but he didn't know.
You have used the term survivor several times during your testimony. Could you please define this term?
Oh, yeah, define
We
it.
used to use the term victim with domestic violence, and what people have started using is the term survivor because it has a more positive sound. And,
come at me with a
and
cornucopia.
because people do survive these relationships, and it's a more powerful
I will
word
not.
than
I will
victim.
not think. Nope.
Could a survivor also be a perpetrator?
Yes, a survivor could be a perpetrator, but for the most part, and when I was answering that question before.
Can I tell you guys something about the word but? But negates everything you just said. Whether you mean for it to or not. Have you ever had somebody say, maybe it was a parent when you were about to go out, maybe it was a friend, and they go, yeah, that dress looks good, but what about, you did a good job, but it negates everything. Everything. Don't say but. Say, that dress looks great. What about this? It looks great. What about this? There's no negating what you just said. And don't say however. However is literally just a fancy but. It's a but with a bow tie. So there you go.
There's a thing called violent resistance, where someone who is basically the victim of domestic violence lashes out. There's also a term that has been coined and is used in California, and I'm not sure if it's used here, called dominant aggressor, which is what the police department tries to look at. And that's to determine who actually is the primary offender in this relationship, who is the person with the most power in the relationship.
You stated there was nothing in Jodi's journals, emails, etc., indicating she was jealous. Wouldn't that be consistent with her belief in the law of attraction?
It could be, although she did list things about her being very depressed, about her being a shell of her former self. So although for the most part in her journal, she didn't try to list negative things came out in her journal. Negative things, some non-specific kind of negative things about Mr. Alexander being cruel or...
Sustained. Could a female abuse, batter, or terrorize a man to the point of killing him?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand that.
Could a female abuse, batter, or terrorize a man to the point of killing him?
Yes, women can be perpetrators. The percentage.
Still, overall, you may continue.
When you look at something like the
every
Continuum,
time I photograph a wedding and
you're
they place their
looking at
mix-a-lot, which they
high-end
inevitably do, I
battering,
just go stand in the corner.
when you look at the
and sulk.
National Surveys of Households and Families, which is a non-criminal justice survey, the Violence Against Women Act survey that includes 8,000 men and 8,000 women, the emergency room surveys, the FBI Unified Crime Reports, you still see overwhelmingly in violent crimes where there's
and sustained. We keep hearing him and perpetrator in conjunction with one another, but couldn't a perpetrator be a she?
A perpetrator can be a she.
How many times did you meet with Jodi and on what dates?
Well, I tried to answer that before, and I can't tell you the dates without my calendar. But except for the first date was, I think it was October of 2011. There was, I know a time in August because that's when my daughter got married. And there were 2 other times. In fact, I think when Mr. Martinez interviewed me, I met with her then. That was in November. But I'm not certain of all the dates. I would have to have my calendar.
During your testimony, you concurred that many things actually happened, such as when Travis was supposedly caught with photos of young boys. Aren't you in fact only basing this on what Jodi told you?
I'm basing, yes, I am basing that on what Ms. Arias told me and on those emails or on the sex tape when he talks about corking the pot of even.
Lack of foundation as to how she knows this instance.
She's still answering the question, what supports her belief?
Overruled. You may follow up with that.
Corking the pot.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Any objection? I'm
Oh,
going to
I'm
allow your
sorry.
attorney to follow up.
Okay.
You claim that Jodi not getting medical attention for her finger or other injuries caused by Travis is consistent with other battered women because they do not want to ruin the perpetrator's reputation or get them in trouble. What would prevent the battered person from getting medical attention and simply lying about the cause?
There are people who get medical attention and lie about the cause. If there's any suspicion and the doctor interviews, you can wind up sort of being stuck.
Overruled, you may continue.
So there are people who go to the doctor and make a report and lie. There are people who do that. I think that in this particular incident.
Sustained. You claim Travis's name calling turned into character assassination, but my understanding is that in order for character assassination to occur, it would have to include diminishing someone's character to other people. If the name calling was only between Travis and Jodi, wouldn't this just be considered more severe or intense name calling and not character assassination?
No, character assassination does not have to occur in the presence of other people, and most of the time it doesn't. Tearing apart somebody's character, particularly if you're spending most of your time together, you don't have another mirror of reality to look at. So if somebody's tearing apart your character, somebody's tearing apart who you are, and you love that person, they have the power to tear apart your character. Most character assassination does not happen in front of other people.
You testified that in completing a couple assessment, you talked to both parties to confirm and validate your concerns. In this case, you were only able to talk with one person. How do you validate the information presented to you is truthful in order to base an accurate decision?
By using collaborative data and looking at different things. I'm not sure if it was
Jodi's stuff.
Mr. Alexander's blog, but there was some, I don't know, Facebook from blog, but they asked him what he liked. He said, I don't like whores.
Sustained. You testified that in March, when Jodi's phone voicemail box was full, Travis ordered Jodi to empty it. How do you know that he ordered her or just asked her?
Well, he said, empty it out, as opposed to please or whatever. So there's an implied, you empty it out there. That's how I read it.
Considering Travis and Jodi communicated frequently, wouldn't you say it is reasonable that Travis might get a bit irritated that he could not leave a message with Jodi for a week because her voicemail was full?
Sure, he could get irritated. It's not a matter of being irritated. It's a matter of what you do.
Overruled. You may continue.
It's a matter of what you do when you're irritated. It's a matter of how far you go when you're irritated. I mean, any of us get irritated. We get irritated at people we love and care about all the time. But it's sort of like, now how do I handle that? What's the pattern that I use to handle it? And anybody can get irritated. Anybody can get over the top a little bit, but it's just so far over the top. That's my concern.
Since you were hired for this case to look into Travis and Jodi's relationship to determine whether or not this was an abusive relationship, why would you not look further into Travis's text about him fearing Jodi? Do you feel this may have been important?
I continued to read the text to this particular person and to read the texts that were occurring at that time. And I didn't see anything else that would lead me to believe he was afraid, including his behavior. So when I look at the information, I also look at what surrounds the information. So I was reading texts he had written to other people at the same time, and his behavior toward Miss Arias. And as I said before, Stalkers do not.
Sustained. You have many years of experience dealing with abusive men, is that correct?
Yes.
If so, wouldn't by far the majority of men you have known throughout your career be abusive?
Actually, I have lots of male friends and my own family members and my son. So I've got lots of male people in my life that aren't abusive, including a co-facilitator that I've worked with for over 20 years in West LA, and a co-facilitator that I started with in 1980 that we work very closely together for 28 years, and he just retired. And I've worked with a range of men. Some of them are anger management, and I've also have men in my private practice.
For all the heart, y'all.
Where domestic violence isn't an issue at all. I have a broad-based private practice. I work with people on a variety of issues.
Is it possible your view of men in general is skewed or biased toward being abusive?
I don't think so. I got a great dad.
I don't think I'm biased at all.
I've got a great
Not
brother.
possible.
I've got a great son. I've got great brother-in-laws. I have some very, I think, very significant men in my life, male friends, people I've worked with in the probation department, people I've worked with in criminal justice, people I've worked with.
You can still be biased and have male friends.
Doing training. I've got lots of male friends, so I would have to say, probably I wouldn't be able to work.
Overruled. You may complete your statement.
I don't think I would be able to work with people who are violent, and that includes some women as well. I don't think I'd be able to do that if I didn't have a good balance in my own life of people who are positive role models and mentors in my own life.
Did you read all of Jodi's and Travis's journals during the time they were in their relationship, or just the portions provided to you?
I only received the portions of anything. All I got was what was provided to me. I didn't know if that was all that was available or not, but what I had was provided to me.
Do you believe it is possible that Travis said some of the negative things he said to Jodi because he was afraid of her stalking him and he wanted to distance himself from her?
No. No, I don't believe that.
In your opinion, did Travis ever sound angry in his journals?
No, I don't believe he sounded angry in his journals.
Did Travis speak negatively of any of the women he was seeing in his journals?
In his journals?
In his journals.
Not in the journals that I read, no.
In the magazine subscriptions you had sent to Jodi in jail, she wrote hidden messages in them intended for someone. Were those messages for you?
I had no idea she wrote hidden messages to anyone, and I certainly didn't receive any.
If the defendant feels she has a high IQ, is it possible she would try to outsmart psychological tests?
It didn't appear that she's outsmarted them, if that was her intent.
Not responsive. She's asked, is it possible, not whether or not she did.
She should be allowed to explain her answer.
Overruled. Answer the question.
It didn't appear in reading what either report wrote that if she intended to, that she did. So I don't see that if she did try, she wasn't successful. And I don't know whether she would have tried or not. It didn't appear to me that she tried to outsmart me, but, you know.
Jodi's old friend stated she was manipulative and liked to play the victim. Even though it was high school, is it possible that those traits stayed with Jodi as she got older?
Two things, a correction. Her friend was from elementary school, not from high school.
Jesse characterizes manipulative. That was on June 13th, 2008.
Let me
Characterizes
reread
that.
the question. I'm going to reread the question.
Okay.
Jodi's old friend stated she was manipulative and liked to play the victim. Even though it was high school, isn't it possible those traits stayed with her as she got older?
I don't have evidence of that. I don't have evidence of that from,
Objection, not responsive to the question.
Is it possible
Is it possible?
those traits stayed with Jodi as she got older?
anything's possible. I don't have evidence of that.
Have you seen any proof that Jodi was physically abused by Travis other than her finger that she claims Travis broke?
No, I haven't.
Is there any reason we should believe that Jodi has not manipulated you as she has others?
I'm not sure who you believe she's manipulated.
Objection, the others go to the question she's asking.
Sustained.
I think can we approach?
Yes. Is there any reason we should believe that Jodi has not manipulated you as she has others?
I didn't use Jodi as my evidence. I used so many other things to look at.
Objection, non-responsive to the question.
Overruled.
So I don't believe that Jodi manipulated me because the areas I looked at were corroborated by other people. So, I mean, it's possible. I also don't have any evidence that she's been manipulating people. So I'm not sure where that actually came from. She's not been described as manipulative by others.
Sustained. Why have you looked at Ms. Arias multiple times during the cross-examination with the prosecutor when there were breaks and sidebars to meet eyes with Jodi and give her a small, warm smile?
I have done that on occasion, just to acknowledge her, but no other reason. I've given maybe.
Objection, the others go.
Overruled.
I maybe given warm, I have friends that have been coming from, friends of mine from elementary school, and I look in a direction, and it doesn't necessarily mean I'm looking at Miss Arias. I know I've looked at her a couple times, but I've actually tried to avoid looking at Miss Arias. And I have looked at my friends who've been in the front row, and Maria there, and whatever, and I've smiled at them. But I haven't spent a lot of time looking at Miss Arias and smiling at her.
Do you have personal feelings for Jodi or feel sorry for her?
I have feelings. I have liked Jodi in terms of working with her and in terms of having a cooperative relationship with her. But I mean, we haven't had a relationship other than the 44 hours that I've spent in jail with her. So we don't have a friendship. We don't have a relationship other than that. And I've had that relationship with other people that I have worked with who have been in jail as well. I'm pretty clear on my own boundaries, so I don't think that's been a problem. And I absolutely, if I thought that would get in my way, in the same way I do with my clients, if something personal would get in my way of having an effective relationship, I would step away from it.
On April 9th at approximately 11:33 a.m., when discussing Jodi being manipulative at the Purple Plum and what the witness said about Jodi, what the waitress said about Jodi, When the prosecutor was marking the exhibit, you looked at Jodi, gave a half smile, and shrugged your shoulders. Why do you keep doing this?
Wow, I didn't even know I was doing it. Truthfully, I do shrug my shoulders, I do, but I don't even remember doing that. I mean, I don't even know what to say to that question.
Considering the lies Jodi told after killing Travis,
nonverbal.
why would you believe the things she told you happened before the killing?
I believe those things because of the corroborative data, not because of what Jodi told me or didn't tell me. I've got data that corroborates many of the things that she said in terms of what happened. I don't have data, as I said. I don't have any, I wasn't there during any of the physical incidents. But because much of what was said was corroborated by other sources, I believe those things that are corroborated, and they paint a picture.
Hypothetically, if you were to discover that Jodi had actually exaggerated rather than understated the physical abuse events that she told you about, do you think it is possible that you would need to revise your opinion on the degree or severity of the abuse within the relationship? Please explain.
I would certainly relook at things because that would be important. But I also am really looking at the kind of rage and escalation that happens with Mr. Alexander in this very intimate relationship. And sort of the leading up to different things in relationships that are very, very much less intimate than the ones he's had with, than the ones with other women. And I also look at the degree of abuse in his childhood. I look at the fact that he writes, I don't like whores.
You may continue. You may continue.
Okay. So it's not just looking at what Jodi says. It's looking at what Mr. Alexander says. It's looking at Mr. Alexander's behavior. I don't think somebody has to be perfect to be a battered woman or to be a victim of abuse. I think we can not like some of the things about that person. I think we cannot like their attitude or how they appear to us or the way we judge them. I certainly don't like.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna move over. We're gonna pop into RA's feed here.
Negative on a visual blood stain. Action on JR's camera, or JLR's camera as well. Let's see what that is.
And I think RA would be fine with it.
Front yard, between the front yard and the road. Copy, located a green flash yard between the residential and the road on Coventryville Road.
Okay, so they're getting the same information here. People are moving. You can see there's an urgency. There's an urgency about these movements. People are rushing to the area.
It's 30 call 6 for the Monco units coming south. Have them staged north of you along 100 just in case he pops out north of Fraser. Call 6 copy.
Okay, let me check and see if we've got any new transmissions. Sorry, the website is just being slammed right now. I think it may even be going down. Oh my goodness. Why now? Okay. I'm going to reach out to the website owner. Just 1 second. Because we had this the other day. I reached out to him. He was able to upgrade it. But I think we just hit another threshold. I'm also going to turn to a different scanner to see if we can get something there. Let's try this one here. Okay, it's getting crazy. We're going to bring in audio from Nick right now. The second chopper is en route. Thank you, Weather Watch, for that. It looks like it's lifted off from Reading and is headed down, and it's cruising right here. It's going to be here shortly. See if there's any other assets that are inbound. That's JetBlue. That's not it. There's a UPS. That's not it. I think it's just the chopper, possibly some drones as well in the air.
Man, they should have upped that pay. 5,000, up it to 10, 20. Although there's a fine line between getting information and creating a militia.
Hey, sorry about that. Didn't mean to stream this one.
We're on Fraser, where authorities are descending rather quickly.
Oh,
These
there's
are
nothing wrong with
federal agents
Grizz.
that just showed up.
There we go. Yeah, sorry. That was a little bit of Grizzly there unintentionally. Thanks, Grizzly. Let me switch up my screen, make it look good again. Relaunch that. The scanner has gone down. I'm trying to reach out to the owner right now to see if he can re-up it. He probably hit the bandwidth, the threshold again today. She did the other day as well.
Understood. Cannot see any visually. Negative.
Okay, I've got to get in touch with Luke Burnt here. Just 1 second.
Apparently, he tried to break into a house. There were shots fired. I'm not
Okay, so
the
radio
expert on this
communications
one.
are going down. They are 100% going silent per the command post. They have reason to believe that he might be listening to a scanner, so they are not using a scanner anymore, or the
Using
normal
smoke
scanner.
signals.
They've switched to a private channel.
And I feel like that needs to
They
be
believe he
celebrated.
might have access to a scanner that he's listening to, so that's why the scanner has gone silent.
Spicy.
Dun, dun, dun. On Facebook, Twitter,
Police be coming up to him saying,
Nothing. You
I'll
lose.
just reach out to
Good
Luke here so
day,
I can
sir.
get a quick reply. I sent one out to the website feed as well. He was really quick to get it up and running last time, so hopefully we got some answers here. The scanner's down. I do not believe this is what Nick is saying. I think he might have some incorrect information there.
"Hi, RA. Hey, man. How you doing? Good to see you." Poke, poke, poke. Poke, 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 poke. Well, I know we redirected from Jodi, but you guys were very interested in this, and I texted RA or tweeted RA to see if he'd be fine with it. Hopefully he is. I'll feel really bad if he's not. But you guys know that I communicated.
Yeah, the scanners are crashed right now. The website itself is down, so I've reached out to the owner to see if we can get it back up.
I mean, they would have went to a channel that is not able to be monitored.
You email them as well.
Can I get a witness? Here's the story of a guy named RA. And he encouraged Brandi and me to start streaming. He was helpful and so nice. And the only thing I can think of that rhymes with streaming is screaming.
Get this back up. Cornflake Girl, I'm not sure if that's accurate. It's very, very difficult. The reason I say that is because I've worked with communications for emergency services before, and you've got agencies from multiple different jurisdictions all trying to work together. It's very difficult to get everyone switched off to another frequency as quickly as that apparently happened. So I would say that's probably not accurate. It might just be a website issue, and I'm reaching out to the owner. And also the other day when the website went down again, I reached out to Luke and talked to him, and it was a threshold on the website that limits the amount of bandwidth that's used, and it hit that limit, and he just had to raise the limit. It might have hit it again because we've got so much interest today.
Same content, slower chat.
Fix it last time, but it's a little bit later tonight than it was last night. Hopefully, it's not asleep.
Okay, sorry, I'm back. We were just speaking with members of the Marshal Service that pulled up. I'm waiting for updates. Of course, if you guys live in the area, stay safe.
Other helicopters arriving right now.
Is that Cavalcante
that map looks like
that he stole.
Bottom left is Fox right now.
And again, this is definitely a confirmed sighting. He was spotted.
That map
several
was
hours ago on
like
Fairview Road.
A John Madden diagram.
Police response, though it was rapid, he told you guys about the terrain here and how it's more dense and many more fields are around. So there are obviously drones in the air, helicopters you guys can see on the radar and hear them above us.
Nope, there it is.
But really we have no update. We're learning this stuff in real time. So when we learn it in real time, it's kind of we have to wait. Real time takes time. As of right now, that's all we know, and it's up on my. I put everything that I know on a Twitter thread that's pinned to the top.
Hello, JT and the 13th Jurors. Hello, JT and the 13th Jurors. Over there on that channel. Thank you. It's getting tense tonight. Good to join you through the channel over there. Appreciate you, JT. I don't know if Grizzly's on. I haven't seen. I think we accidentally took a feed here. Let me jump back. We don't want to see these guys. I think JLR is live right now. So we've got two helicopters now hovering over the scene. Let's see what the new helicopter is doing, if there's an area it's focusing on. It looks like there's the old one. Here's the new one just starting to make its path as it starts to circle the area.
Yeah.
I've got Nick the Hat's audio live coming in right now. Let's see what JLR has as well.
Once and for all.
Oops. Yeah, you did.
ALR investigate. Come on in. We've got more law enforcement. This is Southern Chester County Regional Police have entered the perimeter. Chopped up ahead.
My Catholic guilt
I
said
won't be
offer
surprised if the
5
police try to
gifted
push people
memberships.
back from the perimeter.
ALR investigate. Come on in.
Now that there's a confirmed firearm involved.
Come on in.
Scanners are working. Thank you very much. Let's see. I'm not getting it yet. Are you, Terry? I'm not seeing that yet. Let's see if I can wait for it.
And then my guilt said I should do one on my own channel.
It's not loading yet.
70s gods. Welcome to the cult.
Unit 60721 from Chester. Bus PG is packed up at CPG. You can just switch to that. That's there.
There's a scanner working, but it's not the one that's got all the latest data. I mean, I'm bringing that in over my phone. It's not the open megahertz that's following the trunk system that we want. Thank you, Nighthawk Studios. Appreciate the super chat. You've got to realize this guy, if he's not extremely fluent in English, him listening to scanner radio traffic is going to sound like Greek to the rest of us. If he's not fluent listening to a scanner, how many of you guys can understand everything that's being said on the scanner, for instance?
We were doing
I don't
Jodi's
think that's really a threat
trial
in this situation, if he has one, even if he has one. Kelly Brooks, they are so close on his trail.
25 unavailable, holding in front of Tiger. Maybe 1429.
Okay, we've got some groups coming in, scanners coming in slowly.
Maybe 1429.
Okay,
Jen, thanks for the
back
membership. Welcome back, RDB.
Open Megahertz is back up for us. Guys, if you don't need to be on there, I would not jump on there. It could overload it again. Slowly coming up here. JT Brews Crime, thanks for gifting 5 memberships. Thank you, my friend. Hello to everybody over there on the Brandi Churchwell network. Brandi Churchwell 13th Jurors, check it out.
Again, guys, we're on the 1100 block of Prizer. There are no updates other than what we provided.
I've got Broadcastify going as well. Getting slowly getting information back on open megahertz, but it's not fully restored yet. The new chopper is doing its loops. The old chopper is moving further and further north. You can see the search pattern here. That could be an indication that I think he's really on the move. And if he does get up here into this French Creek State Park, that's a rough area. Woody's Woods. That's a tough area to search. We're losing Nick's audio. Let's check in with JLR real quick. Nick's feed is this one right here. Oh, that's sorry, that's JLR's. Nick's feed is.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for the support. Got another officer.
It's JLR. Nick's is over
All right,
here.
guys, sorry about that. We're setting up real quick. So we're on Prizer Road, essentially in the center of what appears to be the perimeter. I have a.
Yes, the feed is live.
It appears to be a rather large perimeter.
Trying to get the scanner to work properly, and it's connecting very, very slowly.
I can quickly show you guys. Just give us a sec. We're going to light up the area because we're inside of.
Now the sight's down. They might be bouncing it.
Yeah, we're going to light it up.
Yeah, no problem.
Almost lost the spotlight.
Yeah. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna have to go up here. They're moving the perimeter.
Give us a second as everything gets set up. You guys are going to see a little bit of light here in a second.
Up top here.
Obviously, the goal is to light it up first, and then we're going to set up. Let me actually throw this thing to the side so that.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so JLR's being pushed back just a little bit.
All right,
Probably.
they're making everyone here. There's multiple people. I'm gonna move my car up. They're shifting up towards the road, and he said safety. He said you're aware of safety. So there's big risk here, people. There's big risk at this location. Heard him.
I know they're saying my feed is not live on Nick.
Big risk at this.
I'm showing current. I don't know what else to tell you. This is him. This is what I got.
Sending out some text, guys. Give me a second.
Send out text. Give me a second. That's the latest. It's showing live.
1 Belmont Drive, 1701 Belmont Drive for suspicious condition.
Thank you. It's because of you and mods like you.
Headed up. Headed up to the top of the road.
Nothing was actually heard or seen to be asked, please. 4747, where's from out here?
Okay, I'm not able to replay these because I'm on Broadcastify here on my phone.
Okay.
Is the feed okay? In terms of volume, let me know. I vamos, thank you. Shireen, you're in green. Miss Marzipam, Erica, Diane McMillan, Trish Faust, Beach Gal, Brian Stone, and
We're
Lara.
doing everything we can to get scanner audio back.
Miss Beezy,
Reach out
Jenna
to the
Rope.
website owner to try to bounce this.
Thank you so much. I vamos. And welcome to the cult. Welcome. Oh, yeah. And Jen, thank you so much.
I'll just tell you, if you guys are trying to do the same thing, it's basically a denial of service attack. All of us collectively trying to get the same information is causing this problem. If you could let me stream it, because I can provide it to a lot of different people at the same time, I'd appreciate that. And maybe just stop trying to load the page, see if we can get this to come back up. It's not the right feed.
Christmas with I vamos.
Nora, watching from Ohio, been on the edge of my seat, like watching a dramatic end to a movie. It's scary. It is crazy, absolutely crazy. I do have Broadcastify on as well. We're listening to that. We've got almost 5,000 people listening to that scanner, but it doesn't have the on the ground communications that's happening here. Coventry Road is packed. That's where I believe where the shooting occurred, or where the altercation occurred, and where he got the gun. Also where the hoodie was found, his green hoodie was found next to the road. I know it's not a DNS attack, but it's basically the same effect when all the people are trying to spam the channel and try to get in. It overloads the website.
That would be fun. Trying to convince the trees she's innocent, and probably
listen
succeeding.
To a couple audios and see what JLR has as he's moving out. What's Nick got? I think Nick's on the phone right now.
Only person talking on the radio, the rest is calling. I really need to be on the radio. Man, before 3 a.m.
All right, guys. So I'm hearing again that he's armed. And here comes a massive police response right now from the direction. I'm working to confirm. Give me a minute, guys. So we're hearing that he has been armed with a 22 rifle equipped with a scope. They've seen L911.
Number 45 North Main, 6402 for the We were originally
All right, guys, they found a hoodie. So they found a hoodie. They found Cavalcante's hoodie right now.
It seems like the neighbors above her had for domestic and it's flat.
All right, guys, it's a 22 rifle with a scope. Keep that in mind. That this guy's extremely dangerous now. This just turned very, very deadly. He was not armed until just now. He has a 22 rifle with a scope.
This was he got that from breaking into a residence.
This might turn into a standoff with law enforcement. Again, it's now confirmed that they believe Cavalcante is armed with a rifle with a scope, a 22 rifle. They found his hoodie just now.
I just reloaded Nick's feed. I swear this is current. I'm not sure why it's acting up like this. We've got a whole bunch of feeds coming in right now. So let's see. Still two choppers over the area. Now they're both next to each other right here next to just north of Coventry. Or just south of Coventry Lane, Coventryville Road, above Murray School Road, searching this area.
It's a rifle with a scope. Down on the corner, out in the street. Okay.
Sorry, guys, working in the background. I can't talk and work at the same time. 22 can do some damage. They can be deadly. They're typically not considered a round that you would use for hunting unless it was very small game. I probably wouldn't take anything more than a fox or a groundhog or something with it, but they can be deadly.
Hey, Mom. How you doing?
Well, somebody's talking to their
Who's
mom.
calling mom there? Did you hear that?
I did hear that, RA.
Connection's timing out still for open megahertz.
Male versus a male.
Run through the jungle. Run through the jungle.
Copy.
If he stole the gun that was used to shoot at him, it may be armed.
I can't even just
If anybody is able to connect with Jason Burnt, who's the maker of CCES, the open megahertz system that's we're monitoring CCES on, it would be extremely useful. Let's see. Oh, he's actually live. Posted 1 minute ago. Says, looks like things are going down in PA. Trying to reboot open megahertz now. That was 18 minutes ago. So Luke is on it. Thank you. Let's see. So I wonder if the CPU is pegged or on the server. I wonder if I can move to a bigger instance on DigitalOcean. Let's see what an 8 virtual CPU can do. He's back in a few. Slowest progress bar ever. 2 minutes ago, he was done. 2 minutes ago, he was about 75% done on the transferring that to Ubuntu. I know this is nerdy language for some of you, but basically he's trying to bring this back up. So we should get this back.
I like nerdy
shortly.
language.
He's basically doubling the size of the virtual server that's running the software here.
What you gonna do when they come for you?
You don't hear from anyone.
You're
Someone should
born.
alert the subscriber exit the alarm company. And have the
The
alarm
born
company ask the
idiocy.
subscriber for the address of the domestic via text message.
We haven't heard the lady who's thinks she's in her house.
Number of the building.
I'm,
She lives in the 6,000 building.
I'm a
Not sure
geek.
how she hears it.
I admit it.
4,000 building. Let's see if we can hear it.
I copy. Go ahead.
So a man escapes from prison where he's been locked up for 15
I'm
years.
going to retweet, just so you know, Luke Burnt. I just retweeted his post. He's the one who wrote the software for Open Megahertz. We reached out to him last time this went down. He wrote the software and did it for free. Gives it out to the world. As a matter of fact, you can get the whole file. He gives it away. You don't have to buy it or anything. He likes to create things and then move on. He does keep this running, but he's doing it for free. So
He breaks into a house to look for
Can
money
I
and
move
guns.
the NA
Inside, he
banner?
finds a
What-
young couple
what's
in
the
bed.
NA? The NA
He orders
banner
the guy
is.
out of bed, ties him to a chair.
Let me tell you what I'll do. Give me
Well, the
just one
homeowner's
second. Let me-
wife-
Let me shuffle things around.
Ties the homeowner's wife to a bed. The convict gets on top, kisses her neck, and then gets up and goes to the bathroom. While he's in there, the husband whispers over to his wife, "Listen, this guy's an escaped convict. Look at his clothes. He's probably spent a lot of time in jail and hasn't seen a woman in years. I saw how he kissed your neck. If he wants it, don't resist, don't complain." I don't like that. Do whatever he tells you. Satisfy him no matter how much he nauseates you. His wife responds, "He wasn't kissing my neck. He was whispering in my ear. He told me that he's gay, thinks you're cute, and asked if we had any Vaseline. I told him it was in the bathroom. Be strong, honey. I love you too."
NA is actually the plain information.
Took a left turn, huh?
This one. Box 2. Just go there. Let's see if this is any better for you. Is that better? If we show the plane right here, that's what the NA is for. I realize that's frustrating, but if I remove the banner, it goes to this, and then it's really hard to see the planes on there. Let's see, this helicopter's gone as far as Bucktown.
Right to voicemail.
Find that address.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. I want to be like you. Ooh, ooh. I want to climb like you, cold like you. Ooh, my shoe and my jacket. That doesn't work. It was good until I started singing it.
So he's actively working on fixing this.
We checked our reporting system. We have 43 or 4213 for her address. We're going to check 4,000 building.
Oh, it was just a joke. I found a joke about
We're
an
listening to
escapee.
Broadcastify right now, which is giving us some of the outside communications, but not necessarily the on the ground stuff. Give us just a minute. We should be able to have this feedback. Thanks to Luke. The banner is better, smaller. Let me take the let's take the whole edge off. We'll take the whole banner off. How about that? wrong one. We need box 2. Sorry.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight.
Almost there. A little bit more. I'll touch it up. We'll get this right, guys. We've got just a minute.
You asked for it. You didn't. You really didn't.
Station 150 Vice Avenue. Quality check. I was requesting a check on a friend, Stephen Hayden. He called her 5 minutes ago. Said he was on train tracks down in kind of one of the end of his life.
Oh, man.
Disconnected with the caller now and isn't answering his phone. Caller could hear trains in the background.
I would love to have all of that software. Ugh. And the time to do it. Walk like a man, talk like a man.
Black male in his 30s, dark hair, athletic build. I know it's not indiscreet. He wasn't by any of their preferred locations.
Let's see. OG Sean White says, sorry, I spammed about Nick, who's only trying to help. It must have glitched out of. No, it's all right. No worries. No worries. You're good.
Not today, Satan. Not today.
Okay.
You didn't look like when I get it.
Trying to keep up.
Now, this is the wrong time to have the scanner go down. Hopefully this comes up really quick here.
I get very quiet at the bad times. This is the most inopportune time to be quiet, which is very clear that I have not been following this other than some tweets. But also, I don't like to make stuff up. So, RA, however, is very knowledgeable and has been following this.
Unit. The subject drives a tan color Tahoe. Unknown home address. His phone number's in the remarks. Unknown weapons, unknown stocks.
Appreciate the people over on Twitter thanking Luke for the work he's doing there on Open
Hey guys,
Megahertz.
I'm hearing about the homeowner might have been harmed in the shooting. I'm working to find that out right now. All of Chester County's emergency services dispatchers are down right now, so everything we're finding out is coming obviously directly from law enforcement. There is no scanner right now.
Both
but I'm
choppers
hearing
are
that
still in the area.
The homeowner might have been harmed in the shooting. I'm not sure how severely. I'm working to find that out.
Is this Nick? Yes, that's Nick's voice you're hearing. His feed is on the top left. On the bottom left, we have JLR. They're on opposite sides of the search area, just outside the perimeter. Nick's actually, I think,
Again,
just
guys,
inside the
I'm
perimeter.
working to confirm if the homeowner was harmed. It sounds like somebody was harmed, and it wasn't Cavalcante, so it might be the homeowner, it might be an officer. I'm waiting to find out.
We have one chopper
right.
right here in the middle going up. It's the one
Anybody
who's been here all
who's
along.
cornered,
The other chopper is
whether it be
down
man
here,
or beast, gets
right down here. We do
dangerous.
still have two choppers on the scene. They're spreading out all over the place. Little worried that they're so spread out. I wish they were watching a very small area, but that's not how it's going down right now. Okay, Open Megahertz, the website is back up. Let's see if they can launch the Listen app here. Just 1 second. It's coming up. It's slowly coming up. Give it a minute, guys. We'll have the sound for you in just a minute. I think it just has to connect to the database. The front end looks like it's up.
I don't know what he's seeing. Can't get anything off of that website. Am I on the wrong website? Oh,
Listen to
I
JLR.
think so.
Here's JLR's audio now. Big shout out to both JLR and Nick for doing this. Appreciate this. The website is almost up. We should have a feed momentarily.
That would be nice.
Come on
Wouldn't
in,
it?
everyone. We're here at the scene. JLR investigates. Share this video around. Share it. Share it around. JLR investigates.
Appreciate him allowing us to share this as well. Big shout out to him for that.
Big shout out to RA. Ha! Who's big shouting out to other
The scanner's back. It's coming up. It's not fully back. So give it
Share
just a
this
minute.
video
Inception.
around. Come on in. JLR investigates. At the scene right now. This is live. We are live in Northern Chester County.
Yes. I know you are, but what am I? Oh. R.I.P. R.I.P. I literally... There's no... I don't understand.
We're going to be here as long as it takes. We're going to see what happens, folks.
Do I need to download it? Is that what it is? I can find a way to do that, I guess.
All right. Can we see
Thank
current
you,
air
everyone.
traffic patterns? These are current. This is the plane that's the helicopter's been there the longest. This is the plane that the helicopter that showed up more recently. They are still both over the scene. The first one's probably going to have to refuel probably within the next hour.
12,000 in the chat. Keep sharing it around, folks. Come on in. 12,000 in the chat. We're here. We are here on location.
Just in
folks.
case you were wondering how many were in the
On
chat.
location. It is going down here.
Yeah, it was a respiratory failure. He was going through a lot at the end.
Website's still not connecting to the back end. Give it just a minute here.
No, it's not. I'm looking at it too, because sometimes getting a primary source is better audio, but also RA does an amazing job
All
with
right.
audio.
Who owns the internet? Fix open
So-
megahertz, please. I think we've got that part covered.
Unit 0641. Unit 0641, 119 West Hillside Drive, 119 West Hillside Drive for
Man,
well-being
we're
check.
28 away from 9100 now.
Where's husband, J. Cole, left one suicidal, 50-year-old male, no weapons, intoxicated on alcohol, unknown if he'll be cooperative.
All right. Let's see if I can answer any questions in here. It's JLR audio, but whose stream? We're watching. Well, I'm here in the corner. That's me. You can see me.
there's
I'm a
a
recovery
lot of
addict.
reports out there. There's a lot of
I see
reports
you.
that he possibly has a 22 long gun or a 22 rifle.
That audio is coming from the bottom left-hand corner. The picture that I'm sort of overlapping. That's
A lot of reports out there, folks.
that's this one right here. That is JLR Investigates, and he's allowed us to share his stream. That's his audio and his video. He's standing there roadside. He's on scene just outside I
filming
believe the
from a
northeast
potato?
perimeter. I know I said perimeter. We're so tired of that word, but that's where he is to the
He's
northeast.
been out here
If you
for
go back to the other
I've been
view
out here
right
for
here,
a long time. I don't
camera
even know how
6.
long I've been out here.
This is
Days
Nick the
covering
Hat,
this gate. We started down there,
and
in
he's
Chester
on the
County
other
Prison.
side,
Now we're
actually
ended up
inside the
up here.
perimeter.
Don't want that gnome in
Close
my
to-
garden.
Close by where the homeowner was.
He
where-
probably
I
he
think
probably
where the
doesn't know,
barn is. I
and
think
that
it's just
makes
north of the
sense.
barn. He's watching there. He's talking to people. His feed is
Mighty
quiet now, so he doesn't overhear. We don't
Morphin
overhear the
Mini
conversations
Climber.
as he's
I
talking to
just did
residents and things like
Mighty
that.
Morphin Power Rangers as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Checking with Luke.
Scanner's going off down there, folks.
Mighty Morphin Mini
just doubled
Climber.
the
Mighty Morphin
virtual
Mini
assets that
Climber.
are running this website. The website itself is back up, but the scanner portion is
Hero
not
who's
yet.
a half shell.
So give it just a minute.
Run real fast.
Should just take a few minutes to get up.
No mellow.
Okay, not
And
here.
therein lies the difference in chat. You guys,
They go pretty
guys are so
quickly.
funny.
I'm hearing scanner. We've got Broadcastify going. We're just waiting for the other scanner to come up.
Okay.
Give it a minute.
Know this, because we're doing this, we are skipping to the next thing in Jodi. I think we were all at that point anyways. That woman was getting
First
on my
chopper's
nerves.
making smaller circles. Let's look at that one right here. First chopper is making very small circles. Look at this. It's also down to about 1,200 feet. The other chopper is circling that one. So it's moving low and slow. Let's keep an eye on that one for just a minute. Sorry, it helps if I show you that, right? There we go. First chopper is doing this. Look at this. This is what we see when it's moving very slowly, almost hovering, just slowly covering the area. They've done this one other time, and that's when they thought they had him locked in the trees just north of the Longwood Gardens. Marita Roser, welcome to the gallery. Thank you so much. Scanner's up and working again. Thank you, Crime Sleuthin. Let's see. Give it a listen. I'm not seeing the systems yet. Just 1 second. I think the only thing that we should do is we should make the fugitive wear one of our hoodies, our orange hoodies. Is there some way we could make that happen?
You know what's 1242?
It's bright orange.
I'll
It says
also give him
this
an
Lone Prison
hoodie.
Escape hoodie on it.
We'll do both.
Suspicious condition, 100 East Loop.
Tiny
Call from Montgomery County, 15 minutes ago, stating they saw the prisoner, unknown race male, small, build, wearing a red shirt, black pants, carrying a bag.
It was a teeny weeny escape convict.
Schuylkill Road. We've had a couple calls over there. That is crazy.
Short gray military cut hair, wearing black green shorts, white sneakers, getting himself ready for new. Subject did say he would think about jumping in front of a car or one of this.
All right, we do have another chopper inbound. Yeah, there's the prison break hoodie, the one I was talking about. Thank you very much. Another chopper inbound, says Tim, from southwest near Cockeysville. Where are you looking at? Southwest. I'm not seeing it yet. We've just got these ones here.
1-1 unit south.
But Tim, thanks for the super chat. I'll watch for that and see if we can show up on my feed. He did lose the hoodie, so he's in need of a new one. I tell you, it would help all of us if he was wearing that bright orange one. Yeah, 1,200 feet. That's definitely within range. I'm not sure what damage it would do at that point, as far as to the helicopter. The website is up, but the scanner portion is not, guys. I'm keeping an eye on it. 5 seconds ago, he says maybe open megahertz is sort of back alive. The Mango database-based calls are super slow. If you go through here, I think you can list the new Chester County transmissions as they come in. Thank you very much for that one, Luke. Appreciate that. Let me bring those in right here.
It's no secret that when
barely coming back to life. Here we go. We've got some calls.
get your secret.
Okay, this is our talk group.
9191.
This is on the ground. So we're not hearing anything, but the calls are at least coming in. These are 11:15. So just a few minutes ago, they're a tiny bit delayed.
Can you have out the ERT team to come to the scene and assist at the request of the speak, please? And myself.
They're bringing the ERT team in.
Yeah, that's 2 houses north of me.
Emergency response
be a problem.
team.
Okay, we've got this is live audio again.
9191. Can you have out the ERT team to come to the scene and assist at the request of the state police and myself?
Negative. 3042, my friend. Fine.
Birthday call 42. You can clear out my lash. Just mark that a follow.
3042, my friend. Fine.
Unit 0641.
3042, my friend. Fine.
Okay, calls are very slowly coming in. They're a few minutes delayed. The tone on the radio does not seem stressed. It's very relaxed.
Can you have out the ERT team?
Sorry, I'm re-listening to some of
Call
these.
42.
On the
Burrow,
run
thank you for the
again.
super chat.
I just couldn't wait to get
Man,
on the run
so sorry.
again.
Praying for all the people on the ground.
Climb the wall so
they're
I
doing
could
hard work
be
here,
with
and they're literally on the
I
front
could
lines.
be with my
a
friends.
crazy guy with a gun on the other
I
side.
can't wait to be on the run again.
One chopper is hovering. It is.
So fresh, so clean.
Let's see if Nick's heard anything.
You know what's in 442?
Um,
In front of Bellwood. Golf
No
Course,
more,
100 East Google
Mr.
Road for
Escapee.
participation.
No more.
Received a call from Montgomery County 15 minutes ago stating they saw the escaped prisoner, unknown race male, small,
I was
build,
ready.
wearing red shirt, black pants.
I would hit him with my
Walking eastbound on
long
Road,
wig.
unknown weapon, unknown cop.
Forward. Can you repeat one time your radio was cutting out? Can you activate the county ERT team? Have them respond to this location.
One day we should. One night we should just do like
Affirmative.
radio
ERT team.
travel. We'll just like
Do you
scan
want
the radio
Westchester
stuff.
or the county?
Melissa,
Negative.
are you from Virginia? Hello, fellow Virginian. Hello.
County team.
Too many cops on my hand. Too many cops on my hand.
You know what's in 442? In front of
I mean, he loves being free.
Bellwood Golf Course, 400 East Google Road for suspicious condition.
Don't make me wig slap a bee.
Received a call from Montgomery County 15 minutes ago stating they saw the escaped
What
prisoner.
part? What part?
Jurisdiction is subject to white male, 51 years old, gray military cut hair, wearing black
Need like 5 more calendars.
Didn't take his cell phone, just let him passport. 472. Subject did say anything about jumping in front of a car on the roof.
You know these guys want this guy so bad because he's making them look ridiculous.
2042, my status is fine.
Ah, Spotsylvania.
3042.
Oh.
In 75 King 90, Unit 2 1890, checking your status on Brooktown Crossing.
About an hour north of me.
75 King 90, we're just getting ready to deploy 1 King 9 and start tracking back areas of 84 bucks.
No, you didn't.
Okay, another dog's in the area to track.
Give it to Terrorman. I believe you.
Yes,
I
he
believe
does have
you.
a firearm.
Please have ownership of this evidence. Do you need me to another location?
That's even closer to me. And by that, I mean 20 minutes. I used to work in Glen, Allen.
All right, guys. So on the 3500 block of Coventryville Road, there are reports coming in about a gunshot victim with penetrating trauma.
That's
the emergency response team has been deployed.
Call 42. Call 42.
First chopper's headed back, probably to refuel.
Call 42. In front of
Voiced by John
Bellwood
Mulaney,
Golf Course, 400
who
East
I
Google Road, first position
adore.
condition, 400 East Google. Okay. Oh, God. Caesar. 93 King 90. Please have ownership of this evidence. Do you need me to another location?
Okay, things are slowly loading here.
Toss some hearts in there for that person. Probably just going for a walk.
You know what's in 1242? Oh, 1 young.
That's ridiculous.
Samantha.
.407 was flying from DC,
Guys,
just
just
crossing
a
to
little
PA.
recap. Remember that Cavalcante killed his girlfriend because she threatened his liberty. She was going to turn him in, and that's what led to the murder. So if he's around, anybody is a threat to his liberty. So obviously steer clear. If you see the guy
That's
in
a
your
good
local,
point.
don't approach.
What years?
If he's on your property and he's armed, obviously
maybe
that's...
set up on a perimeter.
Tell me
We're
what
looking
years.
for help on Mount Pleasant.
We're looking for Mount Pleasant here.
Mount Pleasant?
93 King 98. I copy. Please advise my dog's fresh, ready to go if needed.
That's good.
Copy. Dog's still fresh and ready to go. We'll keep
Okay.
you in mind for the K9 asset.
Mount Pleasant is moving towards the state park. He's almost headed towards, is that Nauertown?
Mount Pleasant is southwest of Pittsburgh.
Knauertown.
Southeast.
It looks like he's headed that direction.
Nauertown.
That puts him up and north and west of the original search area because they're looking to secure that area. Okay, scanner calls are coming in slowly. It's working a little bit.
That's not right.
93 King 98.
Nauertown.
Please have ownership of this. Hey, can you page out the county ERTC? Copy. Dog's still fresh and ready to go. We'll keep you in mind for the K9 asset. Thank you.
Maybe.
This is sort of weird
I might
because
have
as the
the wrong
website's
one.
coming back up, the calls are loading randomly. So I'm getting calls that pop in just now for 11:18.
Gonna
as
have
well
to
as some that are
plug it
11:20.
in, plug it in.
So I'm trying to play the ones that are old, but it's got new ones as well. Aren't people
Mrs.
camping in the
Bruce
state park?
Crime worked there.
Yes,
She was
there
in
are
charge
gonna
of
be people
costumed
up there.
characters. But it was a little later than that.
Copy. Deploying the K9. Just be advised, this was not a confirmed sighting.
Right
just a
down the
shadow
road.
Parameters.
Shadow in the woods.
93 King 98. Please have ownership of
13th
this
Juror.
evidence. Do you need me to another location?
I don't want to call it a reunion.
Copy.
Meet
Dog's
up
still fresh and ready
at
to
Busch
go. We'll
Gardens.
keep you in mind for the K9 asset. Thank you.
Okay, it keeps replaying. Every time something loads, it jumps back. They're having some trouble with the Mongo database here.
Copy deployed.
Oh my God!
Copy,
What if we
don't
saw a
still
bunch of
pressure,
zombies come out of the corn?
I don't know why it's replaying these over and over. No new calls coming in.
I know where that's at. Now it's called Altria.
That was still 8 minutes old,
Lisa.
according to my timestamps. Guys, trying to get you the best information we can right now with the scanners down. That's all we can do. It sounds like they're still searching for him, that they have not got him in custody yet. And it's just up to the score a little bit when he ends up having a firearm.
I looked at Mary Baldwin, I think.
As each thing loads, the website is just hammered, guys. It's just completely overloaded.
5554, check MDC for police farm information.
Oh, I photographed a couple weddings.
Chopper hovering, yes. Looks like he's scanning right here. Probably thermal, looking down at 1,000 feet. Fairly low. Fairly low.
Yeah.
And this was the same area the other chopper was scanning as well. We've got some fields here. Looks like these are trees. Doesn't look like a crop. So this is probably some sort of
Let me check your police. You calling the command post?
possible. Could be a vineyard. Is that a vineyard?
See, I photographed a wedding in Stanton. Ta-da!
Skyforce News is in the air. They're going to be coming out. See where they're at. Coming up from down here, it looks like Skyforce 10.
172 status, okay.
10-2, okay.
Really? You're like 30 minutes or 40 minutes from me.
And this is what I was telling you about the scanner, guys.
I loved getting
the police
annual
have not
passes.
shut it down. It takes a lot to switch this many people to another frequency. It's not just, they can't just push one button, and they have to make sure that all the
what did I
people that
say?
are on the call.
What did I say? What? I don't remember.
17, same 2 status.
Okay, calls are coming in faster now. It's really picking up.
Make sure you call the command post. 1841, go ahead. Copy and service, where you leaving?
Looks like we missed this one at 8:18. Let me play it back.
Please got ownership of this evidence. Do you need me to another location? If you can, slide down 23, go over towards the Mount Pleasant side. It's just the state police with setting up the west perimeter.
So they're trying to shore up the west perimeter. St. Link of the Burner to CPG scanner coverage. Thank you, Jeff Fish. Let me look at that. I think I've got a good one now because the website's coming up. It seems to be loading a lot faster. Luke.
Yeah, I travel past you all the time going down to CNU, where I went to college. Yes. What year did I photograph? Oh, shoot.
One more time, a little loud here.
Okay. Live feed of the scanner. Cameron Powell, thank you. This is because we'll have this audio going as well. See if this works.
17 unit status.
That long ago.
Let me check your police. You calling the command post?
17, same 2 status.
Hard Township, pulling at the Suts.
Just for the record.
2018.
Troopers here.
July. I did that wedding.
Just so you're aware.
No, it was before.
That's affirmative. The commanders are there. Just flow along Mount Pleasant, find a hole, fill the gap.
Jeff, thanks for this link. This link is direct from somebody who's got a scanner running or listening directly to their handheld scanner. So they're in the area. Looks
When
like
did
Cameron
he go to
Powell is one who's
CNU?
offering this. Thank you, Cameron. Appreciate that. And
You know,
Jeff, thanks for making that
1841
available.
You know, 1841 guys. Copy and service. Where do you need me? If you guys slide down 23, go over towards the Mount Pleasant side. It's just the state police. One more time.
Okay, they're using some other talk groups that they weren't using before.
It's a gorgeous place.
Cleared back here.
Photos
No
are
track.
amazing.
Visible track.
Hopefully something's happening.
So Cameron's talking here. I'm going to turn him down just a tiny bit while I bring up this other feed.
Hey,
that's
Greg,
coming
we should be pulling up on our guys here in a second. We cleared back here. No tracks. Visible tracks.
That helicopter right there is
GT-44.
making some
Say that
smaller circles.
Hey, so I'm gonna try to pull one real quick, but,
Oh, tell him thank
Paul,
you.
getting you around there.
Yeah, that was a little before me.
Okay.
So he definitely had a different
Say that again.
experience.
Okay, we're all caught up here. Just one second.
But hey, once a captain, always a captain, right?
I knew there was a little bit of we cleared back here. No tracks. Visible tracks. We also have you noted for your K9. We also have you noted for your K9.
So the scanner's only monitoring the central police group, and we're getting transmissions on multiple groups. So Cameron Powell's helping a little bit, but we need to hear more than that.
4745 to command.
Confirming per the note, are we recalled on 5+4?
Yeah, you want to go over to 100 your prizer.
Receive, we're available.
Yeah, I mean, this is
Thanks
fascinating.
to,
As long
for all
as you,
the,
you guys are good to it.
The new people here. Welcome.
I am too.
Sorry, it's been crazy.
I'm going to
here trying
stream
get
this
everything
until
working
12
here
or
for you.
12:15, but we're gonna end
Yes, Cameron
at the
Powell.
same time.
You're live on our feed. Thank you very much, my friend. Rhonda H, welcome to the gallery. Good.
And
to
I will
7 units down towards.
I will
Prizer
set
Road,
it up
so
to
the gas
portal everybody.
between us and Prizer Road. I'm at 23 and 100. 1 Paul 610. Okay. Command to all units operating in the area. We advise EMS is going to be proceeding down
It
to
looks
100
different
and
than when I
Prizer.
went. I graduated in 10.
Prizer for an injured officer. Once again, EMS will be
Injured
proceeding
officer.
down 100 south of Prizer for an injured officer.
Oh, that's not good.
That's the first we heard about an injured officer. We don't know. We don't know what caused this.
I don't know how. Some injured officer.
1841.
That's not.
Wow.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate the super chat. Says his thanks
Oh,
for the
no.
broadcast. He's near the scene. Mr. Yen, good luck. Stay safe.
I can stop. That is super
All units,
duper
EMS should be coming down
stressful.
100 now.
I could only imagine.
2573, they've already passed
2006
us.
to 2010.
EMS is moving down.
Chief 73 to Chester.
All right, I'm going to set this up.
Okay.
I'm not doing it now, but I'm letting you guys know. I'm going to set this up so that it
We heard there was
portals you over to
I'm going to head down there.
we heard there was an interaction with
RA
the,
when we're done.
a homeowner, and now we're hearing an injured officer.
All right, there we go. All set up.
Trying my best not to talk over everything, guys, and still listen to what's going on. Can we zoom in on the hovering helicopter? I can show you. It's right up here and searching this treed area, and moving very slowly. We'll follow it right here as it moves around for a little bit. Chopper is at 900 feet, very low. Yes, we do have an injured officer medic.
No,
sir, en
no,
route.
no. Disagree.
I'll be out at 131 Mount Pleasant.
Let me swap an image here. Just 1 second, guys.
Everybody's young when we hit a roller coaster.
1841, copy 131 Mount Pleasant. 17432, I'll be out Route 100, Private Road.
Here I am thinking it's 1,000 people, and I'm gonna find out there's 10,000.
17432,
Miss Saber, we are streaming
Yes, thank you,
Recovery
Cameron.
Addicts channel
Appreciate it.
because there's been some developments on the escaped prisoner. They had a sighting of him.
Nick's feed is
Tried to
on,
break into
on
a
the
house.
bottom.
There were shots.
Let's listen to him.
That
for
person might have been shot.
Second.
They're reporting a possible shot police officer. Don't know if it's connected.
10,000 people are
They're
watching.
making
Cameron, don't go to
very,
bed.
Lives too.
they're making very, very small circles on the helicopter.
I like to make noise. I mean, like,
Hi, Michelle. Thank you.
It's not related. Just 1 second.
181.
Let's see. Recovery Addict. Can you mention the victim's name? Deborah Brando. Say her name. You are welcome people to your channel, but you don't say the victim's name. They're children without a mother. We understand that, Elizabeth. We're trying to focus on the chase. This crime was senseless. It was brutal. It was awful. This guy's a monster. We just want to see him locked up and kept there.
Into 1890, copy at Region Mount Pleasant.
The YouTubers, the one on the top, that is JLR. JLR Investigates.
I don't want to die.
7543 on CPC.
And
It's on a charger. Someone says, "Nope, you're not going to bed anytime soon."
So that's you call on command. 7543. I'm just crossing over 401 now. Up to you. Where do you need me?
we're going to get a couple more.
Go up north. You're going to go towards 3542.
Just,
Like replace the injured.
Brew Crime's about to come out with
What
Haunted
scanner is
Amusement
this?
Parks.
We're listening to two scanner feeds. I've
Two
got
episode
I've
series.
got a
True Crime and Wine Times, Crimes in New York.
partially working Open Megahertz website working.
3542
Active shooter
And
is the
Cameron
University of
Powell,
Michigan
who's,
shooting.
who's up on the scene, has a handheld
Crime
police
Trials is
scanner
on hiatus
that
for
we're
right
listening
now.
to as well, and we reported into that.
Thanks, Melissa.
Does Cameron have a gift link? Can you guys let us
Melissa,
know if
did you
Cameron
ever
has a
go
Cash
see
App
a
or something? We
Word
could give him
Players
a
play
little thank you for
at
this.
any point between 2006 and 2010. Because if you did,
Not sure if you guys are aware, but Route 100
Might have been in
closed from 401 to 23.
It is.
You know what?
If you go to bed, just leave the phone next to your scanner.
You know what they call one? That's affirmative. The command post is there. Just flow along Mount Pleasant, find a hole, fill the gap. 1398, command post.
That west side,
1398.
Mount Pleasant's the west side now. Got some bigger calls coming up. Hold on a second.
4747, I'm good. If Mount Pleasant looks good, can you swing back over towards 100 and their prizer? I know there was a little bit of a gap. They were asking to be filled too.
Someone said, "Post your Venmo, we'll buy you coffee."
I need EMS to 100 south of Prizer, 100 south of Prizer, injured officer. He burns to the face, nothing else.
Okay, did you hear that?
Burns to the face.
Up in 6 months. Every time.
Burns to the face.
2573 to command. 2573. I'm sending a 17 unit down towards Prizer Road to fill the gaps between us and Prizer Road. I'm at 23 and 100.
see you later, Ricky.
No. Lynette, thank you very much. Hopefully we can help you guys out. Hopefully this ends today.
Okay.
Yes.
Command to all units operating in the area. We advise
And,
EMS is
Steve.
going to be proceeding down to 100.
Okay, we got that already. We're
Maybe
a little bit behind on this
189.
one.
I feel bad for that officer.
1772.
That's terrible.
1772.
2573, they've already passed us.
There's a large gap.
Station 41 Elm. Do not play with straight. To a second and third.
Williamsburg Players Community Theater.
Get Hill City.
They're in Williamsburg. That probably was self-explanatory.
They didn't say how he got
Oh, yeah.
burned.
I'm here at University Hall on the first floor. I was doing around and one of the long.
That's a different group.
Oh, 31, okay. 1174, you can cancel the on call.
It is.
Yeah, 1174.
But in like, 14, 15 minutes, I'll be portaling everybody over to RA.
I'm trying to see his Venmo on the screen. It's a little tricky to see.
I guess I'm seriously putting my Venmo here.
Two other additional units here at the intersection. Do you want me to move down to shore up the gap?
People are saying you're ready.
You have unit doing traffic control. You go ahead and fill all the perimeter gaps.
Usually put on good shows.
Cameron_123 was his Venmo. Cameron, CAMERON.
Wow, thank you guys. Seriously.
_123 is his Venmo. I can't switch off this, or we're going to lose that. So
Affirmative.
somebody can. I'll make a note of that here. We'll send him a little thank you.
Is there a place for them to go? Just fill in the gaps along 100 for now, as best we can. No, I'm sorry. There's news media at this location. Do you have 1 minute to send them all out through the perimeter?
All right. We don't know how the officer got burnt. Helicopter's still hovering very close.
DoorDashing some coffee now. We're going to be up for a minute.
DoorDashing him some
Not
coffee.
waiting for him.
April,
Negative. Do not let them inside the perimeter. Send them down to maybe Ludwig's Fire Company or something. But as of now, they are not allowed to access the perimeter.
okay, so they're keeping the media out right now still. April May, welcome to the gallery. Thank you so much. The voice you're hearing is Cameron. He's literally holding a scanner in front of his phone, live streaming on Facebook.
Oh,
So
hey,
we're
look who it
listening to his
is.
scanner
Send them down to Ludwig's Fire Company.
as open megahertz, which is still slowly coming back up.
2573, come in.
Hello, dear.
Seriously, thank you guys for the donation.
Hello.
All three. I'm just crossing over 401 now. I'll see you where you need me. Go up north.
You've been following RA?
You're going to go towards
No, I mean, I popped in and said hi.
the injured officer.
But no, I haven't been.
Burns
I haven't
to the
been
face.
following anything. I saw y'all a little bit.
It doesn't sound like he's committed to a firearm. I think there would be a lot more traffic if that was the case.
He apparently broke into a house. There were shots fired. The guy might have been shot, the house owner, and then possibly a cop with burns to the face.
You know, on Facebook. I swear.
Oh.
That's what I'm getting.
Wow.
Feel free to talk over it, though. I mean,
seriously, thanks, guys. I'm happy to help you out.
Well, I'm not going to stay on long
Every night.
because, you know, I haven't even been to bed yet. I took a little nap this morning. But as far as like actual sleep, I haven't made it to that point yet. So, but we did hit the 9,000 mark.
Woo!
And actually, let's see.
I think it was my
now. I think it was definitely the hat. It was 100%. 100% the
I
hat.
got called a nerdy gangster.
I've been called worse today, so that's good. Nerdy gangster is good. We are now at 9,073. So that's awesome. So of course, you know what that means. That means that we have to do a cork. So
cork time.
Cork time. So I made the 9,000 cork, 9,000 subs.
Yes.
And then of course
we're gonna be at 10
today's
soon.
I know.
Didn't we
gotta
say
start
that by the
planning.
end of the year we wanted to be at 10?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
and I was like, yeah, if we just do like a little bit of work on the 10K show every week. And I haven't done any work on the 10K show other than like getting the gifts together. So at least there's that.
There is that.
There's that. But and then let me show y'all. Speaking of gifts, I got a special delivery for our 10K party day giveaway.
Ruh-roh, Raggy.
Look at all of our crowns.
Look at
so
crowns.
These aren't these
Is this from
cool?
Kathy?
Yes, she made these for us to give
bless
away.
her.
So we've got 10 crowns for our 10K. So so that's awesome. And so I've got those to give away. And look what our friend already sent us. Oh.
While we're chatting, I'm keeping an eye on the stream on this screen. So just let everybody know.
See?
Oh, what is that?
Aren't those cool? It's stickers, and they're like they've got the. Can you see the colors?
Yeah.
How cool is that? And so
Who
the
sent those?
13 RA did the he designed these. So the 13 at the top is all of our colors for like, you know how like when you're like 1 month, 3 months, whatever, it goes in order. And then the bottom are his courthouses that have his colors that go. And so, and then the 13 is in our font, and then the Addicts is in his font. So it's like the perfect mix of our two channels for all of our 13th Addicts. How cool is that? Aren't they cool?
That's awesome. I
I
love
love them. So cool. Yeah. He did a great job on those. So I have some of those to give away as well for the 10K party. So all kinds of cool stuff. Plus, we have we're gonna give away, I don't remember.
My wigs. I'll sign a wig.
Sign a wig. There was other stuff too. There was like I think they said like 10 stickers, 10 t-shirts, 10 coffee mugs, and then one person would get to pick anything they wanted from the merch site, or we could design whatever they wanted. So so I got to start setting my allowance aside for that. So
I think I'm also I talked to you about this. I'm gonna put together a postcard, and so we'll use it for various things. But we'll put a postcard together so that we can get something to you that's personalized for whatever we decide to use it for. So yeah,
that's
I just
awesome.
gotta have them printed.
Yeah. It's exciting. I'm really excited. I cannot believe how much our community has grown. It's really cool. It's that's the only kind of marriage I'll agree to be in. The marriage between our community.
What about me?
Well, you're part of that.
Ah, yes.
You're
Okay,
part.
all right, I'll take it.
You're part of the community marriage. Speaking of community
that make
marriage,
me like a husband brother?
yes.
Then it's just RA,
yes.
me, and you.
Yeah. And now
I hope
Grizzly.
Mrs. RA and Mrs. Bruce Crime are good with that. I guess they're in it too.
Yeah. Well, Lucy's good with it. She's the only one that I have to worry about. Lucy's good with it. So
I like how out of all the wives, the whole wives, Lucy's the one.
Yeah. Because she's a picky little thing. She is. She's a picky little thing. It's a trouble.
I think she'll ooh, that sounds awesome.
I love it.
13th Grizzly Addict.
I love it. I tell you what, I have I know that everybody has been following this manhunt all week, last week and today, which has worked out fine for me because I really needed to get this stuff done. So I'm glad that I was able to get so much work done and get the first episode of the podcast out. But man, I have missed our people. I have missed like just hanging out with my friends all day and chatting and watching crazy stuff happen, and Marie Ma's counting everything and just all the stuff that goes along with it. I've missed it a lot. So I'll be excited to get back to streaming tomorrow. I have they got to catch them tonight because or at least by lunch tomorrow, because that's about when I'll be back. All right. I showed these on stream the other night for anybody who missed it. I showed these the other night, but if you weren't here, you have to see my Halloween nomies that Brother Brewmeister sent.
Oh, can we get regular sweatshirts and or long sleeves? Yes. Polly, make a note.
So we have, look at the little pumpkin hat. How cute is that? And look at her little striped shoes. And I love this one. See, can you see his teeth? Can you see the teeth? There they are. And his little Dracula cape. And see the bat. But wait, there's more. And the little witch. And look at her spider hat. How cute is she? She's got split ends, but that's okay. She don't care. She don't need your approval. Right. And of course, I love this one with his dark black beard. Of course, I've always been a thing for like, you know, like red flags and beards. And I mean, it's literally, look right here. This is, boom. You know, red flags and beards.
I'm working
right
on
here.
something homemade for you.
Uh-oh. I'm scared.
Uh-huh.
How cute are these?
I got really good at a specific craft. And it's not something you would probably expect me to be good at. Well, at least decent at.
Knitting.
No.
Making those little prison roses out of toilet paper. No,
no, I'm not that good.
Not it either.
I'm good at a couple of things: pole dancing, bowling. I'm not good at pole dancing.
Well, you don't know till you try. Oh, you probably have tried. Who am I talking to?
You right. You right. She says wigs and I say how high. That's not how that goes.
Oh yeah, I've missed y'all a lot. I've missed y'all a lot, but I am ready to, I'm excited to be back. I was planning on having a stream today, but I was too busy having a panic attack and trying to just perfect all of the.
She's not kidding.
I'm not kidding at all. Like when I tell y'all that I really had a panic attack today, like I was literally texting group chat. I was like, oh my God, I can't even breathe. What if everybody hates it? What if it fails? What if nobody watches it or listens to it? Like, what if, you know, I had all these, like, I was not emotionally stable today. Prison McFlurries.
Yes. Hence the bath.
Oh gosh. I literally, what time did I text you? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to jump on and I'll do the thing. It was like 7.3 business days ago. And I was like, yeah, I'm just going to soak in a bath because like, I'm finally like, I can breathe now. And I literally, it would get cold and I'd be like, I'd use my foot and just run more water. I was like, I'm just not ready to get out and be in the world yet. I just want to stay in this bath. I needed it. I've been stressing. So it's hard when you put,
I told Brandi we'd hit 10K real fast.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm
not that kind of show.
I sent him or what's it called? A gift thing or whatever after he said that. And it's like this, you know, guy, like having a whole mental breakdown in the bathtub with the thing, you know, and I was like, that's kind of how I feel right now. But you know, whatever, but it's hard, you know, when you put so much time into stuff and you want to, you know, be proud of it, but then you're worried that, you know, I just had a whole panic attack.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh, for sure. No, I totally understand. But having heard the majority of it, anybody who doesn't like it is a troll. It's fantastic. It's
Good,
absolutely fantastic. If it's half as good as your trailer, I told you, Invisible Choir, watch out. You know, if you know that podcast, I mean, you did a great job, truly.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm sure there are things that I'm gonna like.
Check your PO box.
No, I have not moved from this chair since about 6 a.m. yesterday. Other than to take what did I take? Like a 2-hour nap this morning. And then I was back in this chair. So, but I will tomorrow. I've got to go to the oncologist tomorrow. I've got it like a 2-hour drive. Ugh. So I will check it on the way back. but yeah, I will. If I remember, I will set I'm so bad at remembering things. Because I'll be like, oh, I need to get back so I can start the stream. So I'll set a reminder on my phone and I'll check it tomorrow. Tomorrow, the plan is when I get back from the oncologist, we're going to do a stream. I don't know how long. We're just going to play it by ear, maybe like an hour-ish. Basically, I thought I was going to be like one of those people like melted into my chair.
She's just it was just like a washcloth and water.
Yeah, like Mr. Bill from next doors came in and hosed me down and, squirted me with some Windex and hosed me down. Just joking. Wouldn't have been a bad idea though. What are you whining for? You heard that fuss. So I'm going to do a stream on Karen Read tomorrow and kind of introduce everybody to it and show you like the graphics that I made and all of that stuff. And then after that, we have finally court should have been back in session today for the sex therapist trial. So that means that we'll have that stream that's released tomorrow. So we'll do like an hour intro into the Karen Read stuff. And then what? Here. And then,
Is that mom really?
She's like, you haven't brushed my hair in 2 days. We haven't gone on the beach. You're my bestest girl. You're my bestest girl. So we'll do like an hour introduction and then we'll do the Karen Read. So that's the plan for tomorrow. And it'll start. I can't really give a time because it depends on my oncologist and traffic because it's like a 2-hour drive. I got to go to Tallahassee. So it'll be a while, but I'm hoping that it should be sometime around lunch. So they need to catch the fugitive between now and lunchtime tomorrow because I'm gonna need everybody back tomorrow.
They got this. I agree with you, but they got this helicopter doing a billion different things.
That is what
all over.
Why are you scratching me? Don't you growl at me. Who do you think you are, sassy pants? Who do you think you are?
Uh-oh, sassy pants.
Do you need to go potty? Are you bad? Are you bad?
Yep.
Yep.
And I'm
See?
good at it.
Dr. G messaged me and Dr. G is feeling better. So stop, Lucy. You're gonna go to the pound. That's what you're gonna do. She's like, she knows better. She's like, yeah, right. I was going to keep wanting until I get what I want. He is feeling better. So he could do tomorrow, but I can't. So because of the oncologist. So I've emailed him back. So we're trying to work it out now. But he said that he can. That's when things are serious.
If it helps, we can't hear her.
How can you not? She's so loud. So yeah, she missed everybody. She missed attention. That's all it is. So he said that we're going to do the Thami walkthrough, but this is cool. He also said anything else that we want to look at. The only thing he doesn't want to do is do you hear this? She's like, oh my God, you're about to sit in this chair for another 4 days straight. So that's what she's worried about. He doesn't want to do the Buster interview because I'd asked him about that because Buster's the type that, or let me not say Buster's the type.
I don't blame him.
There are some that are more of a legal risk.
And a troll risk.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. But he did say that we could do other ones too. So so I thought that was so cool. Like he's like going to just take time and chill with us. Like how cool is that? That Dr. G is just like going to hang out with us. So we're going to do the Thami stuff because Lord knows I want to see that. But y'all send me anything that's like happening recently, any kind of like, stuff that you're like, oh my gosh, I wonder what Dr. G would say about that. Send it to my email and put in the subject line, Dr. G. And, then we can look at some other stuff too. I think that's really cool. He's awesome. So we're very, very lucky that he's going to be hanging out with us. I'm about to take this little monster out because she won't be quiet.
See if he's interested in looking at Gus.
At Gus?
From the Jodi trial.
Stop. She's down here scratching me like this. You're very high maintenance. All right, I'm going to take her out, and then I'm going to go to bed finally. It's already, oh my God, it's already 11 o'clock, and I got to get up so early and drive to Tallahassee. So, oh, thank you, Shunk of Bacon. That was, stop. Do you, like, are y'all, I wish, I'm going to turn your camera on. They're going to see how bad you are. They're not going to send you treats anymore. Heard that one, didn't you?
I heard that
All
one.
right. Yeah, she's like, what? No treats?
That was
all right,
I
so
gotta go to the bathroom, Mom.
I know. She's ready for me to get out of this chair. Stop scratching me. She is being so bad. I think she really does think that I'm about to like be in this chair again for another 4 days. But I wanted to do the cork with everybody and say hi and that I miss y'all. So I will.
Well, thank you.
I appreciate y'all, and I appreciate all of your support, and I will see y'all tomorrow. I was about to say bright and early, but it might not be bright and it might not be early, but I'll see y'all at some point tomorrow. All right, y'all. All right, bye.
Bye. All right, so let's just get a let's get a beat on what's going on here.
Yes, you're on the shipping patch with your comm center channel on your homepage for the radio.
Updates on the homeowner we haven't heard. Don't know the situation. We heard there was a penetrating wound. That's all we know. And apparently the homeowner shot at the suspect. We don't know if the suspect shot back, but in the altercation, the suspect was able to gain a gun, a firearm, which was a .22 rifle with a scope, and then escape. Shortly after that, he ditched his green hoodie on the property near the road, and then made it off into the forest again. And they're still chasing him.
For those of you who are not well versed,
JLR for a minute.
Here's the
It's got a
22
really
rifle.
bad connection right here.
All right,
And by that I mean
I've been warned.
I'm not well versed. I had to look it up.
Watch my 6.
Right.
Very close, guys.
I'm now doing my walkthrough at Tyson Hall.
Encrypted channels, basically tactical channels, talk on radio frequencies that we can't hear. That's all it is. It's to the officers themselves. There's no difference between the channels. It still sounds like they just talk, and the other guy listens. It sounds like a normal radio, but the transmission itself is encrypted so that somebody who intercepts, like we are using a scanner in the middle, can't make out what they're saying. It's just to keep their.
See from 50. It looks like it's just that one
secret.
white van he's pulling out. 25 Santa Rita 32 Adam 1. What's your location?
The officer that was wounded by a overheated engine. So it burns to the face.
Burns to the face from an overheat. See,
they are pushing
give
him
him a
hard,
hard
but
time.
he's also, I mean, they're also following
But
him.
Command post to Monco unit.
It would happen.
Coming down 100.
Sky website is back to 100%. Thank you very much. I need to figure out Venmo. I can't get it to link to my bank account, but I need to get Cameron some money. Thank you, Cameron. By the way. We'll get that figured out. Let me screenshot that and we'll get that result.
All right. Well, everybody, listen. Here's the deal. Thank you so much. I'm gonna pause this because I have like audio. It's bad. Thank you so much. I'm going to end this stream. You're going to be portaled over to RA. I don't know how long he's going to go on, but feel free to pop in there. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for making that shift. Excuse me. I'm sorry. That shift. I'm going to hit the gavel now so I don't forget. Our court's adjourned. I will see you Wednesday. We will have the quiz results on Wednesday. Take care of yourself. Take care of your friends and family. Always. Well, don't forget to smile. Don't let anybody, as Pantoufle says, dull your sparkle. And shine on. Shine on, you crazy diamonds. I will see you all Wednesday. Hopefully this guy's caught. Bye, everybody. Hump day.